Yo, yo, yo. The audio should be good, but I'm checking real quick. See who we all got in here. Oh, the chat logo on here. Cool. Yo, Falcon D. Mikey. 4Boo. Terrible TJ. Nasty Ninja. Doran Ross. Chase. My guy Dak. Even with the member. Saw that before hopping on the stream. Appreciate you all for being here. For real. And this is going to be like a very chill stream. Not much of a huge agenda. Except for, you know, the one I'm going to be pushing 24/7 from this day onward. Which we'll get into in the theory review section. Yo, Brandy King. What's good? Saying Dr. Pepper the physician. Oh. Ooh. I see you. You're chefing up right there. Chase says, I've been listening to nothing but One Piece OSTs in the car since the Reverie. I'm too hyped for the next chapter. Yeah, I am. You know, people are finally starting to get into that itching phase again. I feel like the break month has been like kind of weird in a way, where it's like, I feel like people have been sort of satiated because the anime episodes have been so crazy. Like Zoro vs. King, Kid Law vs. Big Mom. But I don't know, man. I've been having a pretty solid break month, you know. Sure, there has been a lack of One Piece, which is always a tragedy, you know. But being able to talk to people about like just anything in One Piece and not just like the modern stuff or whatever is cool. It's cool. You know, like since Dak is literally in the chat, being able to talk about some insane you know, possibilities of what's to come, you know. It's cool. It's cool. But one of the craziest things to happen, obviously, was there was a Reverie. There was a Reverie, of course. There was, you know, some crazy theories getting thrown around the community. Some new creators have been popping up with some huge bangers. So we're going to definitely take a look at that. For some reason there was a hair on my screen. Brandon King says, were you there, Kev, when Morge and I know that's Hot Boy Spicy were spitting in defense of Whole Cake Island Sanji? Yeah, I was there. I thoroughly enjoyed. You know, I do want to give a huge shout out to that Hot Boy Spicy because I never heard of him before the Reverie. And his like sort of analysis of Zoro and Sanji was really, really good. Really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was so tempted to be like, do I move Sanji to S? Do I? You know, with the way he sort of broke down the whole like self-worth and love thing. That was pretty great. So huge shout out to Hot Boy Spicy. If any mod wants to throw his link in the stream, for sure do that. Because definitely worth the sub in my opinion. I'm going to definitely try and reach out to him and be like, yo, we got to chat it up sometime. Because he's in like the super analysis part of One Piece that I really, really mess with. Dak saying best part was his Discord profile picture. Yeah, no, that was crazy. That was so crazy. Oh my god. It's just like, what was it? The mini gap. Insane. Insane. My favorite thing was probably, since we're just talking about the Reverie in retrospect, I'm going to play some clips, you know. It'll be like a fun little commentary or whatever. But my favorite thing for sure was definitely when I was set as like the I'll defend Chopper guy. And then I just end up like trashing on Chopper. That was so funny. So funny. And then Shasta, I'm D King, man. That made it one of the funniest moments of the whole thing for me. That had me dying. Chase says, yeah, Hot Boy Spicy's analysis was fire. Sanji's your top one, and he made me understand him all the more. See, that just goes to show like how like deep a lot of the characters are in this series. You know what I'm saying? Really, really, just there's so many. Like I said, Dak, you and me, we were on the very same wavelength with like the layers of One Piece. There's so many different avenues you could like explore, whether it's power scaling or analysis or, you know, just anything. It's super great. Yo, Jay, what's good? Appreciate you for stopping in. Brandon King says, I watched an analysis a while back from him on a breakdown of Naruto and Sasuke's growth and dynamic. That's pretty cool. I definitely can't watch any of those Naruto videos because I'm on chapter 100 something. I forget the exact one, but 100 something. Valkyrie Mikey says, Cav, are you interested in knowing what One Piece countries reference countries from our world? I mean, I already know a lot of them, to be fair. Like, I'm deep in the rabbit hole, as I assume many of you are. The rabbit hole is a long one, so I already know a lot about the real life inspiration stuff, because that's the reason a lot of people are able to speculate, like Elbaf having those Norse ties that leads to a lot of people speculating on like mythology, you know, religion, you know, the actual geography of the location. It's just so interesting. But before we get into the Reverie stuff, I have to do it as promised by, you know, physician Dr. Pepper, you know. But all I gotta ask, it's here, guys. It's finally here. And now, I've been told this is gonna taste like Coke, but like with cherry flavor. Now I'm gonna let you know straight up, I don't like Coke or cherry flavor. So this will be interesting. This will be interesting. And I hope it doesn't like explode right next to me. Oh well. Alright, let's get the ASMR. Let me see, ASMR. Okay, ooh, the ASMR. Dak is popping off in the chat right now. Okay, look at that. Dr. Pepper. Wow. Alright, let's smell it. Let's smell. It kind of smells like medicine. It kind of smells like medicine. I don't know if I'm liking this. Maybe the physician thing was more on the nose than I thought it was. Alright, one more time. I do have a pretty bad nose, to be fair. Hold on. Yeah, it's like cherry medicine. This is like disgusting. It's not disgusting. Let me not slander it that hard, but like all I smell is cherry medicine. Oh nah. Oh nah. Alright. Alright, let me do the Badlands chugs. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna die. Alright, let's see. I don't know. I just, again, the cherry medicine, like, part of my brain or whatever is like, it's cherry medicine. Like, that's all I can taste. It's kind of wild. Dr. Pepto? Nah, not Pepto. Not Pepto-Bismol. That's different. Maybe I'll try it again. It'll taste different than medicine. Hold on. Yeah, it's really like medicine. That's kind of crazy. I don't know why, but it just tastes like medicine to me. Ugh, like and it's like, it's weird because I'm drinking it and it's activating like this part of my mouth. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, I don't know. It's very strange. It's not bad, you know, but it's like, did I expect cherry flavor? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not even like enjoying it, but I'm like, I feel like I'm obligated to finish it because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, you know what? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's like a... Okay, this might sound strange. It kind of tastes like a cough drop. A cough drop, which is still medicine, right? It's still medicine, but it's like a cough drop. I don't know. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling it tastes like a cough drop. I don't get why, but that's what I'm feeling. I also just got a really weird, like, thing right there. Chase saying, to Badlands chug this? I barely drink soda in the slightest, Chase, so I don't know if I can Badlands chug this. It's better than Robitussin. I feel like anything is better than Robitussin. You know what I mean? This is like... Why is it called Dr. Pepper is really what I'm thinking right now. Why is it called this? I guess, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm, like, hyper analyzing soda taste, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm just like, You see, Miguel, welcome to the stream. He does the Usopp, like, That's how I feel. I feel like, what am I tasting? You know what I mean? You drink too much, you might turn into Frankie. Oh yeah, let me... You know what I mean? Oh man. Cough syrup is my least favorite flavor of syrup. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm getting a weird feeling here again. I don't know why. The pepper part of the name is because it's spicy. Is that... I assume they don't mean like hot spicy, because it's not hot spicy at all. Do they mean because it, like, it fizzes up or whatever? You know? Oh my god. Dak, if you wanna hop on and give me your Dr. Pepper, you know, analysis, let me know. Let me know, bro. Because you're clearly a master in this field, you know? You said this is the top one. That was painful. That was painful. I had like a mini burp and it just like, ugh. Oh, they mean like a kick of flavor. I see. I see. Now what's next on the list is oh yeah, Terrible TJ, thank you for the gifted member. Shouts to Chase, becoming a member of the dog pound. Yo, Ronnie, is that Dr. Pepper? It is indeed. It is indeed, bro. It is indeed. I feel like now we got to figure out something new for the channel. We got to figure out something new. Is it truly Kevin Up time? Are we doing Kevin Up next? What is the next agenda? Oh my god. I'm just like sort of sitting here in a state of disbelief almost. This is supposed to be, you know, actually while I'm doing this, we might as well talk about the Reverie. You know, because that would be a good thing to talk about with my time. So let me pull it up. Yo, TJ, shouts to you again. And shouts to Brandon King for getting the gift of membership. Ooh, Dak comes in with a hot agenda. Mac and cheese at 5K. That might have to be it. That might have to be it. Mac and cheese at 5K. It'll either be mac and cheese, because the tattoo is staying at 10K. That was the original goal for the channel. The tattoo is staying there. Mac and cheese might have to be it, because it seems like, Dak, you're pushing the food agenda to the point where it's like, this is now like the hurdles of the channel are like Kevin suffers with this food, or this what's it called? I'm not really suffering. Let me not like oversell. Like, this is not terrible at all. I would give this like, I don't know, a 5. It's not bad. I wouldn't drink it again. That's how I feel about it, you know? I don't really like soda in the first place though. So don't take it as me like slandering Dr. Pepper or whatever, because I don't like Coke, and if I don't like Coke, I was assuming I'm not gonna like this. Oh yeah, but let me pull up the Reverie stuff real quick. Internets. Boom. Yeah. Let me change this ratio for the thing. You guys should be able to see that, which is cool. Oh my god. Kevin's Jordo test. That's too funny, man. That's too funny. Let me add this thing in the background before I forget. Boom. Alright, so that should be even layer there. Then let's put that under the chat. Boom. Cool. That was frustrating me a little. I'm a Pepsi guy, so I don't care if you don't like Coke. No, I don't really like Pepsi either. I feel like they're all just kind of like strange. For them, it's like I don't even know what I'm tasting, and that like kind of scares me a little. It's like I'm not rocking with this. I'm not rocking with this. But anyway, shout out to Steve's Mask. I use these guys in like literally every single stream, pretty much. But we're gonna talk about the Reverie, of course. You know, so I just want to, before we get into the segment or whatever, huge shout outs to my man King Recon. He did not have to invite me to this at all, but he chose to, which means a lot, genuinely. You know, shouts to our coach, you know, the GOAT. If you're watching this, much love to you, bro. And I could completely understand you being completely AWOL because of the new chapter. Oh my god. The Dr. Pepper was trying to kill me. Oh man. Oh my god. That was painful. That was painful. Okay. Maybe that wasn't spicy. It was just like it literally clogged my throat. Ugh. But anyway. Again, anyways, sorry for interrupting that really nice greeting with me literally choking on nothing. But Recon, you're one of the ghosts of the community. I said this when I left the Reverie. That you deserve the love and support, bro. You are literally one of the goats of our community. I assume everyone in this whole chat is a massive fan of you. So, yeah. Shouts to you, bro. Now, the Reverie itself was a super fun time. I even saw some people who were, you know, supporters of the channel in there shouting me out. Much love. Shouts to my guy Joe and my guy Perk. Legends. Huge, huge love to them. Because I saw it. I saw it in the chat. And I want to give shout outs to everyone who is here on screen. You might not be able to see them because it is relatively small. But you guys know all the people who were there. And I also want to give a shout out to my guy Sin. Unfortunately, Sin joined when I wasn't able to, you know, be in it because I was at that party, like I said. But shouts to him, bro. Sin, I appreciate you for showing your love for One Piece. I'm not sure if you're watching this, obviously, but you know what I mean. Sin, bro, you're one of the guys. You know what I mean. So, huge shouts to you for stopping through, being able to talk One Piece with a bunch of people as well. But yeah, let me find that one comment. There's a comment that was really great, and I liked it because it gave like this. Yeah, shouts to Jolly D Joestar because they've been doing this insane breakdown of the whole stream. Huge shout outs to them. So this is how I'm gonna be able to figure out where the clips are. Before I get into this though, I just saw a cool message. Kev's Giorno test. I remember that. Since 10k is the tattoo, 50k could be something like incredibly spicy wings. So you actually suffer. Oh, that'd be fun. I see Brandon King also says, have Kev do the Hot Ones challenge. I've always wanted to do that, or like the chip challenge. I've always wanted to try them. Because I'm not like a spice fiend where I go out of my way for it. But yeah, I am so, you know, what's it called? Invested in that because it just sounds like fun, you know. But I'm not like one who goes and I'm like, yeah, can I get the Carolina Reaper, you know? No, I'm not like that. But it's just part of the fun. So I'm gonna get into this section real quick about the what's it called, why we chose One Piece section. I was trying to think of the wording for it. I'm like, why couldn't I remember? Yeah, we're gonna get into the why we chose One Piece segment because genuinely this was another like really great moment, and I want to give shout outs to someone I know even said like, you know, I saw this section, I was like, I kind of get it. I kind of get why you like One Piece so much, and I'm like, yes, shout outs to this because this, hey, seeing people show their love for the series, it convinces people, hey, we might have to give it a try. So we're gonna get right into this. I gave it like a whole thing, and we're definitely getting into this teching clip after because, you know, all I'm gonna say is, hey, if my guy Teching 101, one of the goats of the One Piece community, makes a Moda the Milkmaid video, the agenda's real. The agenda is so real. It's crazy. But yeah, let's get right into it, and I'll raise the audio as much as I can. I also want to give a huge shout out to JD Legend. You know, you guys know him very well. He was rocking with my sort of reasoning for liking One Piece. So shouts to him, of course. Another Philly representative in the One Piece community. Let me play it now.
Why One Piece, dog?
Oh wait, let me rewind a bit because I think it went a bit later. Let's see.
Thank you. Kev, why One Piece, dog?
So already, so many fantastic points have been said, but I especially loved the layers idea. There's so many different things. It doesn't matter like how far you could go. For example, Larry and the boys are saying, you know, the power scaling layer. It could be the world building layer. It could just be the actual storytelling layer. It could literally just be the story. But even in that, there's like those super niche characters that you just somehow get really attached to. You know what I mean? Or, you know, it could be like Luffy, you know, the GOAT, who's also our main character. There's just so much potential for not just like the One Piece experience, but everyone else's own One Piece experience. Like you could be a Zoro guy or a Sanji guy. You could like have another favorite character. You know what I mean? It's all very subjective while being the same journey. And that's what makes it so interesting. It's like, this is going to sound kind of cringe, but I kind of don't care. Our journey through One Piece is like how every other pirate has their different journey through the Grand Line. It doesn't matter what it is to you, because it is that. You know, you could have an agenda, but it's your agenda, and it might not happen, which does kind of suck. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, Jay loved that one.
I love that. That was beautiful. Fantastic.
Hey, that was shouts to Jay, man. And I do want to say, I don't know if any of you guys were in that One Piece Talk stream earlier. I did see Ronnie though. They had one of the best streams they've ever had today. It was so funny. Huge shout out to Lawrence and Lionel. They went on this tangent. And it was so crazy. I got to talk about it. And literally, what started as a little like a little power scaling argument between this is the craziest part, right? So it's a power scaling argument between Pika and Virgo. And this is like obviously like completely irrelevant now. These characters have been gone for like a decade. But it's the fact it's the fact that this argument went on so long. It literally went on for like 10 minutes. They argued about Pika or Virgo being stronger. And I'm just thinking to myself, this literally could have been the exact same argument like a decade ago. It's so funny. And it went, Larry was just sitting in the middle and he was just like it's like he was like eating popcorn while it was happening. It was so funny. Oh my god. Definitely watch that stream if you have not. Yeah, let me rewind a bit. We're going to get back to Jay, you know, bigging me up right here. You? Because it is that. You know, you could have an agenda, but it's your agenda. And it might not happen, which does kind of suck, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, Jay loved that one.
I love that. That was beautiful. Fantastic.
But for me, what made me like hooked on One Piece is like the character writing. I just absolutely loved how Oda could go from this super tragic stuff to like them being an absolute joke. Like one of my favorite characters is Robin, right? And Robin's flashback, you know, obviously we all know this, it's peak fiction, you know.
Good job, man.
And Robin could just next arc in Thriller Bark just have cats in her head. She's just thinking about cats. And it's just like, sure, you know what, Robin, I love you. I'll do anything for you. But then there's also characters like, you know, shout outs to my girl Moda the Milkmaid. You know, Moda the Milkmaid, the most relevant, irrelevant character in One Piece. And Yo, I didn't really see anyone's reactions while doing this because I was so like in my own head about it. Oh my god, Pika, more like Pika. He's peak Oda humor. You know what? Hey man, Pika. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of Pika, since we're talking about Moda, we got to pull her up real quick. You know what I mean? For the one time. Oh, and she's got a perfect little spot right here for the stream. Look at that. Boom. Anyway, in her head, she's thinking about cats, and it's just like, sure, you know what, Robin, I love you, I'll do anything for you. But then there's also characters like, you know, shout outs to my girl Moda the Milkmaid.
You know, Moda the Milkmaid, the most relevant, irrelevant character in One Piece. And, you know, I do have one little thing. Since you mentioned, you know, the idea of like a request or a challenge, you know?
Okay.
I need to see Tekking do a Moda the Milkmaid video. I don't think he's done it yet. So I think I need to see that.
No,
Response
no,
taking?
I tried to do one on the Lucia, but they took it down for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, that's valid.
But no, yeah, I should do that one. Yeah.
I think I remembered it, but like I don't know. Like maybe
I've
my
used her
brain
in a
gets
thumbnail. I've
scrambled.
never made a whole video about her, but you know what? Just for you, man, I will, Kev.
Yes.
Oh my god. So awesome. So awesome. Whew. Oh man. The C-Rocks idea? Brandon, I need to know your C-Rocks idea. That sounds pretty sick. I saw no recollection on so many faces when you said her name. Yeah, that's exactly why. She's the most relevant One Piece character. Oh, man. Shouts to you guys. You guys truly understand the Moda agenda. This is like, I don't know if you guys know Xavier Wolf fan. He's like the Bogard guy. And I feel like Bogard's another like super irrelevant One Piece character, but he's so relevant at the same time. Moda is like my Bogard, you know? Brandon King was spitting. Oh, I see. Oh, wait, that's about the Croc theory. I can't watch that yet. I mean, I can't read that yet because we're gonna watch that theory on stream. So I can't do that yet. Can't do that. Yeah. Murphy is like laughing her ass off, which is pretty funny. I'm looking at the people, like just seeing the reactions. Hype Hunter's like dying right now.
You gotta wear the same Luffy shirt. Or Lucy, I apologize.
100%, 100%. Yeah. I made a video about trees, dude. At this point, if the character has a beating heart, I'm good. I can make a video about it.
That's right.
Yeah. What really makes One Piece like super great though, besides like the actual story, is like this. The fact this is even possible is insane. Like there's already, well, it's more than 18 because there's, so would that be 21 people here, or is it 20? I don't know. I can't like instant math like that, but it doesn't matter. The fact that we're all here and there's like a, like was said earlier, over 2,000 people watching us ramble about this amazing series is crazy. So
it's insane. It is insane, man. Thank you, man. I truly appreciate it. Kaio, why one?
Yeah, huge shout outs to Recon, bro. This event was super funny, and there were so many great moments. I was able to, like I said, in a comment, I watched the whole thing afterwards. That's how I knew. Like I didn't think Sin was gonna drop in, but that was super hype as well. But yeah, man, this was so fun. And I know there was the bingo card thing. I forget who asked, but I did have a bingo card thing. I think it was Nasty Ninja who asked. I can check right now. Yo, Falcon D Mikey, I just saw your message saying, thank you for everything, Kev. You deserve all the support and keep it up, man. All love. Thank you. That really means a lot to hear. Thank you. Something bingo card related. I saw something. Oh well. But basically, we're going to just get to that right now. No, Sai is different than Sin. Sensei. Shouts to my guy, Sensei. He hasn't been in the One Piece community like that for a while because he's just been, focusing on other stuff, But he's one of those guys, I talk to him, like, very, very often, so. Here you go. Kev, bingo agenda. I also have the egghead thoughts. We'll do the egghead thoughts first.
Still in us. Kev, if you have anything to add onto that in regards to the egghead stuff.
Egghead agenda.
yeah, I'm so fascinated with what the incident actually is gonna.
Well, I love this idea of Saturn dying, by the way. This is just, now I remembered where this led to. Saturn dying is just such a cool concept. Like, I can't even imagine it being a thing, but if it does happen, what would happen? You know what I'm saying? Yo, Ian's, what's good, bro? We're just giving a little Reverie recap. Chase, you watched that new Melon Tea video as well, by the way? So fire. It depends which one. If it's the buggy one, that's going to be watched on stream. But if she released a new one, I'll have to check it out for sure. Because I saw it was called The Buggy Revelation. And you guys know I'm a huge buggy stan. So we definitely got to watch that.
be. I love the idea. Yeah, I'm so fascinated with what the incident actually is going to be. I love the idea of Saturn dying. I didn't even think about that once, but what really like sort of clicked in my mind is that One Piece is going to go through a world war event, right? So how fitting would it be for a leader of the world to be killed like real life with World War One, how Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated? They're probably going to spin it in some way where Luffy assassinated, the Gorosei member, but you could also interpret it like what's it called? How Sabo assassinated Cobra. That could have been the Franz Ferdinand thing, especially since it's more in line with him being a king and everything. And kings are sort of commonplace in the One Piece world. So it could be that. But I just really like the idea of Blackbeard cooking as well, because Blackbeard, he's been all over the world right now, and
Yeah,
since he has the
we're gonna pause right here. I loved how we were really pushing Blackbeard to be like this important figure in the story, like because obviously he is. It's Blackbeard, but to the extent that it's like he's gonna do something so insane that even we can't figure out what it is. Now it could easily be like, oh, he picks up a satellite for Vegapunk's crew. That was a huge thing. It could be the green blood, but it could be something completely out of the box that even we don't think, because that's how far ahead Blackbeard, is in the story. I think that'd be really interesting.
Warp through, the ship could just be a complete front, and he could just warp right into Egghead with Van Auger's fruit. That would be crazy as well. And I feel like that's just such a Oda thing to do in this arc, especially because every single chapter's just been like, oh, that just happened? What? Like stuff like that. So I'm just super excited to see when we eventually return, which could be next chapter, very likely.
True.
So when we eventually return, I'm excited to see.
I do hope we just kick right back into Egghead after the break.
Too.
I think it'd be an appropriate time to do that. Yeah.
Me too. Definitely. Me too. I think it'll be the perfect time. And speaking of perfect times, apparently while Kev was talking,
this was so funny too, bro. This was so
Morge
funny.
banned Doggo. So at this point in time,
It's just like all the tea between Morge and Brago in this thing. Oh my god. Let me see. Oh, Brandon King! Yo! I didn't see this message, but Brandon King, let me see this real quick. Shout out Dak, Par, Kev, Randy. You know what? Brandon King, the timing, impeccable. Impeccable timing. Hey, man. Shout outs to you for this. Let's see. Emu looks like FDR. Japan's foe in World War II. World government is the U.S. That idea of freedom. 20 kingdoms. 20 kings, 50 states, slaves, Indians, Skypians. Brandon, if you could elaborate on this idea. I like the idea of the American sort of idea of, them being a threat, because obviously, we already have like a lot of real life, parallels in One Piece. Water 7 is obviously like Venice, Italy. You got Dressrosa, which is Spain. You have the world government, which is, France-based for the most part. You have Wano, which is obviously Japan. There's a lot of those obvious parallels. And it gets even like crazier the more we get to the world government. Like Cavendish's kingdom is based off England. There's literally like a Germany-based kingdom. We already, like I said, the England-based kingdom. There's a Russia-based kingdom. There's the Mexico-based kingdom. There's President Hamburger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's obviously clear real-life parallel places in One Piece, whether it's based off of the actual country or just the sort of imagery of that country. So I'm very interested in this idea of how the world government is like America. I like it a lot. Let me go back a bit. Alexander says, I'm sad Melody wasn't there. She actually was invited, which is amazing, because this is something I was really, really pissed that I wasn't able to say, because I forgot because it wasn't in the section or whatever, but King Recon had a section of the stream dedicated to highlighting new One Piece YouTubers, and I knew from the jump that if I got to that section, I would have shouted out Melody, because Melody is genuinely like one of the best One Piece YouTubers. Like, to me, their content is like so elite and consistent that they deserve so much attention from the One Piece fandom. So, like, you guys have heard me, you know, talk about how great Melody is, like, forever. Um, da, 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 da. The buggy one, yes, it's so good. I'm keen for that stream. No, Chase, this is going to be this stream. So, yeah, I'm very keen to see Buggy as well. You know what I'm saying? Ryo, congrats to Kev on 3K. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Ryo. Ryo is one of the first people to, like, I'd say really rock with the channel like that. They're very supportive. Huge shout out to you, because not only are you a chill dude, but you're also very much, like, in tune with, like, the whole community as a whole. So, huge shouts to Ryo. I think I met you through Randy's server as well, because shouts to the, the Savage crew. You know what I'm saying? Brandon King says, I still think Bonnie is the final Straw Hat, because then the 10th Straw Hat, 10th Blackbeard Captain matchup is Bonnie versus Aokiji. Ice Age versus Age. Okay, that's kind of awesome. Brandon King, way over Burger King. Facts. Burger King also sucks. So, definitely over Burger King. The only good thing about Burger King is their fries, and their fries aren't even that good. Brady King just says, Kev, pinged you in Discord if you want to read it. Okay, I'll check it out in a bit, yeah. Nestitch says, is the French Revolution the most famous one? I guess it was the people rising up against the nobles. I mean, yeah, I would definitely say that. I would say it's the most... Is the most famous one? I definitely say it's one of them. I just think the imagery is very strong with it. Very strong. And I think that's because of the insane, like, sort of, I can't even think of, like, the gap. The gap is definitely insane, but, like, literally, like, the people who were poor were, like, incredibly poor, and the people who were rich were incredibly rich, and there was, like, very little in between. So, I think that, like, sort of adds to the romantic aspects of it, where it's, like, the incredible oppressors versus the super in squalor, people, and they, like, took over and won, stuff like that. It feels very, powerful. For, like, the idea of, like, an adventure series like One Piece. So, I could definitely see that being the case. Kev, you put me onto Melon Tea, and I've been binging the vids. Yeah, I'm glad you mess with it so much. Buggy the Goat, Ryo the Goat, facts. Kev, did you see Nux interview Matt Owens as the trailer plays? No, I didn't. I'll definitely have to check that out. That sounds pretty awesome. I know Nux has been getting a bit away from One Piece for a while, but they have banger One Piece videos, for sure. Shouts to their Kaido analysis video. That's one of their best, for sure. Love that video. Because people don't understand Kaido. They just don't. They think he needs a complete backstory to be a great villain, but he already is one. He already is a great villain. My name is BK, and I can confirm BK is over Burger King. Try to get it every few years in case of change. It's always been gross. Facts. I like the Whopper, that's it. McDonald's is better. But I'm talking about Europe. Don't know how it is in the US. My absolute hated is KFC. So that's interesting to me, because I hear KFC is the worst. The best in Europe. But here it's like pretty blech. I'm not a KFC fan. Not really at all. It's pretty like let's think about it like this, right? Let's do like a chicken tier list, right? For me, it's Popeyes at the top, matched with I don't know, Raising Cane's is pretty good. Those are like the top two. And then it's like nah. For me KFC is like clear bottom. KFC is bad. KFC is bad. And then it's like Chick-fil-A is like mid-tier, like it's pretty average. And then Jollibee I would put above KFC. I definitely put it above KFC. And Jollibee I would put below Popeyes or Raising Cane's, but in the middle above Chick-fil-A. That's what I would feel it for those five. I haven't had like every one obviously, but that's what I feel in my soul. Melon T is pretty dope. One of the few One Piece YouTubers doing character analysis. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The character analysis videos, they like always hit. I swear to God. I've always wanted to do character analysis videos, and I have one, not for One Piece though. I have one that I've been preaching for a long time, and I'm gonna give a big. If Edens is watching the stream, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm keeping it as vague as possible. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think Kaido's a trash villain, but we will leave that discussion for another day. Yeah, Dak, if you're saying Kaido's a trash villain, that could be a members video, bro. Because I have thoughts of Kaido. I think Kaido's pretty awesome, but we'll have to get into it. We'll have to get into it then. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you had Raising Cane's today. Doran Ross says South Korea eats KFC for Christmas. It's like a huge thing to do. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard like some countries have KFC as like a holiday-esque thing. You know, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, the mashed potatoes was like the one thing I liked from KFC with the popcorn chicken, but apparently that's not even a thing anymore, which is hilarious. Australian KFC clears all of England's KFC. That's crazy, because I heard England's KFC is like the best. So that sounds crazy. Like, I can't even imagine the level up. Have you had Churches or Bojang? I see Bojangles as well. I've had neither of them. Neither of them are around me, from what I know. Morge did a fast food tier list. Oh my god. I think I remember that stream. Like seeing it in the whatever. Jollibee's is out there. Yeah, Nasty Ninja. So Philadelphia, that's where I live. They literally have one single Jollibee, and the second it opened up, I was like, oh, I gotta try that. It sounds pretty cool. So I gave it a shot. It was pretty good. It's the only problem I have with it is that this is not related to the food at all. It's just like far from me. It was like a 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive. But if I'm around the area and I'm like feeling it, I'll probably give it a try. You know what I mean? I considered it good. I gave it like a 7 or an 8. It's pretty cool. I like how this is supposed to be about the Reverie, and now we're just talking about fast food, which is hilarious. Are we taking price to account? If not, KFC and Five Guys are really good, but if price is a factor, I actually like Chick-fil-A because I get so many rewards on the app. That's valid. For me, Five Guys is like elite. For me, the fries, completely like just god tier. They give you so many fries. The burgers, god tier. Yeah, they're just great all around. But then Dax says later, I drop over 20 at Five Guys easily. Yeah, facts. That's the issue. In college, there was a Five Guys like right near my house, so I would go there relatively frequently. Like, I think like maybe once a month, maybe like once to twice a month, depending on like if I'm like feeling it. Not like on month, but like, so in like 2 months, I would get it 2 or 3 times. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Five Guys is banger. Cajun fries. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. O'Hara's excellent analysis when he did them. His Maki and Mai video was really good. I don't even know what that is. I'll definitely have to check that out. Subway, Burger King, and Crystal. I don't even know what Crystals is. Our bottoms here. Yeah, Subway and Burger King are blech. Super blech. On Maui, we have a Carl's Jr. and a Sonic that just opened last year. That's pretty sick. For me, Carl's Jr., that's like a solid B tier. It's like good, but for some reason, it's like kind of salty, and it's kind of weird. Like, but it's not bad, though. It's just like, the salty taste is like kind of like extreme to me. But it's not bad at all. Ryo with the Five Guys vomit face. The vomit face is crazy. Alright, first off, let's put this back on, because we're taking a break from the Reverie, I guess. Cool, it's still low. We're taking a break from the Reverie, I guess, because that take is crazy. Five Guys vomit face? Five Guys is like A to S tier for me. That's nutty. Crystal's is Southern White Castle. Oh, that's gonna be garbage then. White Castle's so garbage. So garbage. Worst burger place? IMO, just because I'm picky. Burger King not included is White Castle. People say it's a guy's place, but I just don't gel with their burgers. Nah. White Castle's so bad. It's insane. For me, I'm gonna be honest. I even think like the McDonald's burgers are just bad. Like, I'm very picky when it comes to like good burgers. It's like I feel like, I don't know. I don't really go to places to get burgers anymore, because it's just like every place I go to, I usually get a chicken sandwich thing, because it's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's better. Like, to be honest, I feel like most burger places, like, the patties are either so thin that it's nothing, or like it's just bad. There's like no in between. And that's why I think Five Guys kind of gets it with like the multiple patty burger stuff. Like, and obviously you could get that with like McDonald's or whatever. But for me, it's like those patties they're nothing. They're nothing, bro. Wendy's, I'd say, is pretty top when it comes to burgers. And I don't like Wendy's that much. I think Wendy's fell off pretty hard, to be honest. Alexander is cooking with this comment. Best burgers are homemade ones. Prove me wrong. No, you're correct. You are absolutely correct. I think that goes with, okay, this is going to sound kind of crazy, I guess, but like, I feel like with most food, if you make it yourself, it's going to taste better, even if it's like not actually better, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, for me, it's like fast food is probably the bottom. And then you go out to some place, it could be good or bad, but you paid money to get it, so it feels worse, right? But if you mess up your own food, then it's like, oh darn, you know? It's my fault. But you don't feel inherently as bad that you messed it up. You know what I mean? That's why I think like every food that you make yourself is inherently, if it's good, it's going to taste amazing. Because it gives you that sort of validation in a way. So, I don't know. To me, if you make food yourself and you sort of like learn to master a craft, essentially, it's more satisfying in the long run, you know? Wendy's and Culver's are still good. I think I've had Culver's, because Culver's isn't like a Hardee's Carl's Jr. thing. I think that's different. Wendy's burgers can be top tier if they're on their game, but sometimes the beef is drier than Alabasta with the dance powder. I mean, hey, that's why they drown it in ketchup and all that crap, you know? Okay. That was... by the way, guys, I'm almost done this. As you can see, we're almost at the bottom, so... We're almost done with this Dr. Pepper, I guess, challenge or whatever. But this is rough. This is getting rough now. Some fast food places are better based on location. That's definitely true. Because it's like, if it's in a location that's pretty like crappy, I feel like the people won't care as much, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Wendy's milkshakes are bomb. Yeah, the Frosty, especially when it's like $1, the 50-cent to $1 Frosty. Oh, it's over. It's over. Yeah, Chase, you're cooking. You're cooking. I hate ketchup, because ketchup is the worst condiment. Ketchup is garbage. It, like, the people who can like go about their day and they're like, oh, I love this food, let me just drown it in ketchup. It's just like, ugh, how dare you? How dare you just drown this food in ketchup? And it's like, do you care about the flavor? Do you care about anything? No, just tomato paste all over it. That ain't it. It ain't it. Ketchup is only useful because it's able to be blended with other things. And on its own, garbage. It's insane. It is insane how bad ketchup is. Dak, you can't say ketchup's top tier, bro. You flamed me for my takes on food for so long, but then you're coming out with ketchup is top tier. Nah, bro. Nah. I can't do that. I can't do this, bro. No, they definitely improve the food. The condiments, and they improve the food. Ketchup is only good when it's mixed with other things. Ketchup on its own is disgusting. It is disgusting. It's like overly sweet. It ruins the flavor of everything else. It is this overpowering, it just ruins it because it overpowers it and takes over. It's like, this is gonna sound kind of strange, but I think something very similar is like, say you have like a fruit smoothie, right? And the flavors are all congealing together or whatever. If you put a banana in that fruit smoothie, to me, it will only taste like banana. Only. You know? It's like ketchup is one of those. You only taste ketchup if it's in it. To me. See, like barbecue sauce is made using ketchup as a mixed thing. But barbecue sauce is better than ketchup. Dak, I get what you're saying. It's literally one of the most popular condiments in the world. But does that make it the best? Being popular doesn't make it the best. You know, you can't slander me for speaking my truth, you know? You can't slander me. For me, ketchup is used to overpower food for people who can't handle normal flavors, to me. Like, for example, for me, all the stuff that like is used as a congealing thing is immediately better than ketchup. Like, for example, burger sauce, which is used as a ketchup fusion or whatever, that's better. Barbecue sauce, ketchup fusion, that's better than ketchup. Like, ketchup is better when it's mixed with other things. But if you're like, oh, yo, I can't wait to dunk these fries into some ketchup, like, no. No. Huge no. Ketchup on eggs, no. Like, no. I'm not gonna just ramble on about how I hate ketchup so much, but I do. Ketchup is disgusting. Ugh. It is just no. It is so no. Ugh. Oh my god. While not perfect, I would absolutely argue the market is a good indicator of what most people accept as good or bad, especially with food. So yes, ketchup is the GOAT top tier. Crazy. Crazy. Like, there are so many sauces that are better than ketchup, bro. No. No. There's so many that are better. I'm not going to argue that ketchup is popular, because that's true. But, bro, ketchup ain't it, bro. It just ain't it. It ain't it. If you just rely on ketchup as, like, the #1 sauce, to me, you're not exploring the sauces. You know, you don't see the vision. You know? Ketchup is good with potatoes. Hash browns or fries with ketchup is God tier. I can't agree with this ketchup. I can't agree with this. I can't agree. Potatoes and ketchup is the new peanut butter and jelly. I can't agree with this. This is like, I feel like I'm getting like stabbed. My heart is like, ugh. You like ketchup? Ugh. You need to catch up with the times. Brandon King, bro. You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. You're not going to convince me ketchup is good with your puns. You're not going to convince me. You guys see how I love to talk about food? Oh my god, bro. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. There's so many sauces that are better. There are so many sauces that are better than ketchup. Oh my god. Yo, Cosmos, what's good, bro? You hopped into another food conversation with me and Dak, rambling about food for no reason. Now, Edens, you don't get to talk about, you boo me with these food takes. You don't get to talk. I got my W, which is not food related at all, but you don't get to talk about this. Edens always gonna slander me for liking chocolate. This is my favorite flavor. It's like, chocolate is the best. Chocolate is amazing. You know what? Chocolate is actually very similar to ketchup. Very popular, both made from fruit. You know what I mean? But chocolate is like, there's more in the chocolate. You know, you got the milk chocolate, the dark chocolate, you see? And it's great in everything. If you put chocolate in anything, that's like, no, literally, you put chocolate in anything, it's probably better. Man. Ketchup is extreme consistency. When you get ketchup anywhere, it's almost always the same. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's good. I don't like the same thing. I don't like ketchup. So it's just like, no. Oh man, you know, so Cosmos, he's listing these sauces that are better than ketchup. He immediately listed sriracha, which clears ketchup. It's like a different universe. It's a different universe than ketchup. Oh my god. Chocolate is from a bean. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Chocolate chipotle braised short ribs. Nasty Ninja, you're making me really hungry with that one. Making me really hungry. It's insane how I have all these, like... It's insane how I have all these food takes, and I still weigh, like, 130 pounds. If I have all these food takes, and this is, like, a major part of the conversation on this channel, you think I would be, like, you know, somewhat normal weight, right? No. No. Oh, my God. But look at this. We're almost done the Dr. Pepper, though. We're almost out of here. We're almost out of here. Chocolate is never the best flavor for anything. Ryo, come on, bro. Come on. You gotta stop. Man. Ryo, you're throwing out some crazy takes. Saying Five Guys is barely edible, and now that chocolate is never the best flavor of anything? That's so tragic. Honey mustard or Dijon mustard? Hold on, let me see this. Let me see this. I don't know. I'm never really a mustard guy, you know? I think, again, that mustard's like another, like, it's good when it's in something. But, like, am I going out of my way to put mustard on something? Not really. It's just, like, if it's in there, it's in there. You know what I mean? What about mole sauce? Mole sauce is amazing. See, Brandon King, you get it. You're in the zone. You get that mole sauce is great. Mole sauce is amazing. I'm not Cosmos. I'm not trying chocolate bang energy. I already know bang energy is not a good thing, so I'm not trying chocolate bang energy. What dessert is chocolate the best flavor in? All, like, the chocolate ones, like chocolate mousse, like a chocolate bar, like a chocolate cake. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, what dessert is chocolate the best flavor in? There's so many chocolate desserts that exist. Desserts wouldn't have as infinitely many things if chocolate wasn't in it. Chocolate is like, you know how there's, like, the big three? You know, there's, like, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. That's the big three, right? The big three of desserts is chocolate, vanilla, and then probably strawberry because of, like, the Neapolitan ice cream or whatever. It's definitely vanilla and chocolate. Those are the two. Now strawberry, we'll figure it out, but it's probably that as the third. Yeah, mole is great. Now Doran Ross with the mole is gross. What? Yeah, brownies. Brownies won't exist without chocolate. Brownies are great. Like chocolate chip cookies. Bro, they're so good. Oh my god. Kona coffee, chocolate mousse cake. Nasty Ninja, you're throwing out these amazing sounding foods right now. You're throwing out these crazy ones. I'm loving it. I'm loving this. Ooh, okay. Brandon King says One Piece is ketchup, Naruto is mustard, and Bleach is relish. Damn, I guess Bleach clears One Piece and Naruto. Bleach is clearing One Piece and Naruto. And I haven't even read 100 chapters of it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Strawberry is Bleach. Oh, that's kind of funny, because I remember... wasn't Ichiko, like, called Strawberry in the story? That's kind of a fun little connective tissue. And One Piece is chocolate. The best flavor is the best series of the three. Sheesh. Wow, it seems like, yeah, Chase, you're cooking right now. You're cooking right now. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I ate the chocolate first to get it out of the way. What do you mean? What do you mean get it out of the way? Do you mean because it's the best, so you eat it first, or do you mean because? Do you mean it's the best because you eat it first, or do you mean it's the worst? Because this could it'll easily change something, you know? Sanji is Naruto. Very true. Oh my god. Okay, we gotta get out of this conversation again. I can't do this every single time. We can't do this every time. Every stream ends up being a food take stream. Every single one. It's just because, like, Dak throws in some food take and it ends up being the whole conversation. Oh, man. Like, Dak, I told Dak, like, yeah, we're probably gonna watch your theory around, like, 9 o'clock. It's already been an hour. It's already been an hour. Oh, my god. Oh my god. What's the best Mountain Dew? Dak, I've never had Mountain Dew either. There's another one on the list. I've had Baja Blast, and that's it. So I'm going to be honest. Baja Blast is the best Mountain Dew flavor. Because that's the only one I've had. Code Red. I know code that. Well, that's the red one, clearly. This is like a Black Mirror episode. We're trapped in food talk. It's like, let me in. Let me in. Oh my god. Alright. Nah, Dak saying he's gonna pass out. We gotta watch the theory. Because, Dak, I need to see you, see me, lose my mind. Because, for those who don't know, Dak said he shouted me out in the video, so obviously much love to him. But Dak and me, we've been talking about this theory for like days now. Like literally days. So we gotta get into that. We gotta get into this. Alright, let's see. Boom. Boom. Oh, why did I have this on? Apparently I had the stream open in the background the whole time. Luckily it was muted. Otherwise, that would have been terrible. Let's see. Stream bangers. You know what I'm saying? Had to put in stream bangers. Alright. Now. Alright. The video. This absolute banger. This absolute classic in the making One Piece theory. This Rock's Crocodile theory could break One Piece. And you know what? It did. It did. It broke One Piece in my mind, in my soul. You know? So, I'm getting very excited to give this a watch. You know what I'm saying? Kev, how did you not try Mountain Dew or Dr. Pepper till now? Because I don't like soda. I don't like soda. That's why. I never did when I was a kid. So depressing. Oh my god. Brady King, you're coming in with the puns again. Alright. But anyway, this Rocks of Crocodile theory could break One Piece. And guess what? It will, in my opinion. I'm very sold on it. I'm very sold. Alright. Let's fully blast this masterclass theory. And let's get into it. Alright. We're deep diving into this one. I'm going to pause so often. I could already tell. Yo, Connor's pair. I assume that's Connor. What's good, bro? Appreciate your stopping by. Right now, you're in the middle of food debate that happens every single stream. Shouts to Dak for making the stream a food stream every single time. Raya says, what's your drink of choice at a bar? That's difficult. That's difficult for me. Because it's like, it could be a screwdriver. It could be a pina colada. It depends on, like, the day. You know, what I'm feeling at the day. I rarely ever get a beer. Oh, gotta go already. Well, Connor, nice to see you, bro. Nice to see you, bro. That's so funny. Yeah, it depends. Usually, like, a mixed drink, though. Not a beer. I definitely not a shot. You're on Alabasta right now? That's awesome. Yo, this is an Alabasta theory. Yeah, this will completely change what you think of Alabasta. So, good thing. Yeah, stay clear for now. But hey, shout out to you for getting to Alabasta, bro. Orange soda is better than Dr. Pepper. Nasty Ninja, I want to mod you right now. Because you're right. You're right. Because orange soda clears Dr. Pepper. It's indisputable. It's indisputable how much it clears Dr. Pepper. It clears. Anyway.
Like Roger and so many of the other greats in One Piece, did Rox D. Zebek have a child that made it to the current generation? It
Did
would
he?
make some sense since every
Did
Rox
he?
pirate that our crew has met had some, because Big Mom is named Big Mom for a reason, Kaido had Yamato, and Whitebeard went on to adopt tons of kids to call his own. And even the other stars of God Valley had children, because Garp presumably had Dragon, which in turn led to Luffy, and Shanks even seems to be connected to Figurlin Garling. Before Film Red, Shanks was probably the most common choice to be the son of Rox, and while still technically possible, I think most people are looking in another direction now, like maybe Blackbeard because he's obviously paralleling Rox in a lot of ways, or potentially even Buggy, who I just talked about for like an hour.
Yo, this stream was great, by the way. Amazing stream. Orange Soda, you Kel from Keenan and Kel. Hey, man. If I'm like Kel, that means I'm successful. That means I know what's up. Kel Mitchell, shouts to Kel Mitchell, man. Shout outs to Kel Mitchell.
Evil King Recon Parvision and Hidden Island. There's even
Banger
theories
stream.
about Rox being cloned or something like some of the other Rox members, but none of these answers ever sat right with me. At least that was until about a day before I started recording this video.
That little
and that's all
smack
thanks
sound.
to a Reddit post from Queen Flowers 91, which you can find down below. The post itself is super convincing, but the additional evidence that I found afterward pretty much seals the deal, to me at least, that the child of Rox D. Zebek is Crocodile.
Oh, this is gonna be such a banger. Anyway. Oh, this is gonna be such a banger. Anyway, Dak. The Dr. Pepper is finished. I would give it a 5. It was Coke and Pepsi, but with cherry in it. It was basically exactly what I felt it was. The medicine taste did go away after a bit. I really did not like that medicine taste, I'm gonna be honest, but it did go away eventually. Yeah, Dr. Pepper is done. Maybe we'll have a poll for what's next. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Is Mountain Dew next? Is Kevin Up still on the agenda? Is Mac and Cheese at 5? I think Mac and Cheese at 5K is locked in. I really no, it's not 5 out of 5. It's a 5 out of 10. It is a 5 out of 10. I think Mac and Cheese at 5K is a lock. It's a lock. I really like the Mac and Cheese 5K because that meme is too strong. That meme is too strong. Was it cold? Yeah, it was cold. It was in the fridge. Alright, anyway. Crocodile agenda time.
This theory really starts with the Egyptian god Sebek, who is a crocodile.
Sebek.
You may have heard of this god as
I
Sobek before.
thought you were gonna let that information not exist for like such a long. I thought you were gonna be like Sobek. I thought you were gonna say Sobek, and then eventually it would lead into the Sebek thing. Because for me, that was insane. The insane reveal. Because I'm not sure if any of you guys play it as well, but there's a game called Smite. I used to be a huge Smite guy, right? And excuse me. Yo, Ryo, shouts to you, bro. Oh, the notification didn't go through, but it will now. It will now. Shouts to Ryo for becoming a member of the channel. Let me see if I can find that. It was behind this monitor thing. We'll put it right on top of Woda, the Wilk Wade. But yeah, shouts to you. Thank you for becoming a member of the Dog Pound. You know what I'm saying? Every 1,000 should be a new soda, but every 5,000 is a food-related one. Maybe. I kind of like that idea, to be honest. I kind of like that idea, to be honest. Torture me with food and soda every 1,000. Yeah, but I used to really be in the game Smite, and I used to play as Sobek, because Sobek looked cool. It was a cool crocodile man. So I thought you were just going to say Sobek for such a long time, and then eventually be like, by the way, Sobek has a different name. Sebek. You know, I really thought that was going to be how you sort of phrased the video. But you already revealed it, like, off rip, so we'll see how this goes.
Sebek is also a common spelling. And obviously this name is pretty damn close to
Zebek.
And since
Zebek.
Crocodile took over Alabasta, which parallels Egypt, there is obviously something going on here. If you play old school RuneScape, that's why the Crocodile boss in the desert raid is named Zebek. Not to mention Crocodile has sand powers, and sand literally comes from rocks that have weathered down.
Rocks.
Oh
shit! I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about how sand comes from. It's so obvious though. Oh man.
Been
That's
8
awesome.
years old during the time of God Valley, so the timeline is certainly valid. He was just 1 year older than Luffy was when he ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi, or the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika, whatever. So Crocodile could very well have been influenced by rocks in the events of God Valley, just like Luffy was by Shanks. And maybe that even spills into the reason why Crocodile has always hated Whitebeard. Even since Croc was basically a rookie, he had some issue with Whitebeard. During SBS 78, Oda was asked about a newspaper that we saw during the Corazon flashback that actually featured Crocodile and was reporting him as a hero. The reason for this was, originally, he became a rising star in the pirate world just like Luffy, and then he quickly...
Now we're hold on, this is crazy. I don't know what this is at all. How do people see stuff like this? This is so fascinating. During the scene where Law stabs Corazon, I found Crocodile printed on the paper Corazon was reading. This is actually pretty interesting, because this is sort of like a further connection between Alabasta and Dressrosa. Pretty awesome. Yes, I'm quite impressed you found this one. As you pointed out, if you look really closely, you can find Crocodile there. This was from the time when Law was 10, Doflamingo was 25, 16 years ago from now. Crocodile was 30 at the time. Similar to Luffy, back when he was young, Crocodile's name spread across the seas with incredible momentum, but soon after he was admitted into the Warlords in his mid-20s, he tried to fight Whitebeard and was completely and utterly crushed by him. Though he seemingly calmed down at this point, his eyes became set on the kingdom of Alabasta, and it happened to be precisely during this time period that he was being featured in the papers as a hero who hunted down pirates. In other words, that was an article reporting the acts of heroism by Crocodile at the time. That is so awesome.
And then he quickly accepted the role as a warlord and became known for hunting down pirates. And one of those pirates was Whitebeard. But why him specifically? Whitebeard actually asked that same question about Ace to Mass Deuce during the Ace novels, which if you haven't seen my man Marked by Fate, I definitely recommend checking that out. But on one hand, Croc may have just wanted more notoriety and to become an emperor on his own. But Whitebeard was closer to his prime back then. We don't really know who the fourth emperor was at that time because Shanks only became an emperor about 6 years ago. But Whitebeard was Roger's rival, and
I'm very interested about that as well. I feel like we might get that, but I'm not entirely sure. Because who would it be? Would it be Shiki? I don't think so. I don't know. I like the idea of like who was the emperor before Shanks a lot. So I'm curious who it's gonna be. Really curious.
Known as the strongest man in the world. So why would Crocodile pick a fight with him of all people? Well, it could have something to do with Whitebeard's past with rocks. Did Whitebeard maybe betray rocks at some point? Or at least that's how Croc
The song is crazy.
Croc did have some kind of history with the Rocks pirates, that would kind of answer how Crocodile knew something about Pluton. Even though he was wrong about the actual ancient weapon being there, the fact the ancient weapon's poneglyph was there meant whoever told him that knew what they were talking about at least a little bit. And this history with the Rocks pirates could even tie to the secret that Ivankov knows about. Croc being the child of rocks could potentially answer every single one of these mysteries. Whitebeard has always been kind of the odd man out among the Rocks pirates to me. Big Mom, Kaido, and Shiki are all a little more evil than Whitebeard ever seemed to be. Perhaps this differing ideology was illustrated during the Rocks days, and maybe Croc's hatred for Whitebeard stems from that. Did Whitebeard potentially betray Rocks at God Valley, like Squard betrayed Whitebeard maybe? I mean, in fact, that very thought drove me to go check out that scene in the manga, because if you recall, Crocodile saw that event happen with his own 2 eyes. In the entire war up until that point, Croc had just one goal: kill Whitebeard. And when Squard stabbed Whitebeard, Croc even complained about him being weak. But then Whitebeard hugged his son. claimed he still loved him and said a son does not need to bear the sins of the father, and he then offered a chance for every pirate to escape if they didn't believe him. Once Croc saw that, he immediately turned around to help save Ace. That speech from Whitebeard caused Crocodile to do a complete 180. Even Sengoku was surprised at this turn of events because he thought he could use Crocodile against Whitebeard, and Sengoku is the one who told us about God Valley.
Yo, this animation's crazy.
So maybe he knew something here. Was there some reason that what Whitebeard said changed Crocodile's mind? Could it maybe be that
Tack, what was that, bro? What was that? I couldn't even pay attention. Oh, that was funny though. Yo, Voodoo, welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're watching Dak's new video. I know a lot about this theory already, but I want to see how it all comes together. I do like this, right? So originally when Dak was pitching this idea to me, right? So you see this little bubble right here underneath Whitebeard's dialogue. Dak was like, "That's Crocodile for sure. That's Crocodile." And for me, I was a bit suspect of that because Whitebeard, when we go to the panel right under, he's staring right at Squard, and I'm like, okay, so it could be Crocodile. I could see that, but it could easily just be Squard. But I think him phrasing it in a way
turned around to help
where it's like this can easily be like, okay, this is clearly Crocodile reacting to Whitebeard, and then we see Crocodile change what he does because of this scene where he's reacting to Whitebeard. That I could see, but originally he was saying that little speech bubble was Crocodile, and that I wasn't 100% on. But this I'm 100% on. So far this theory is pretty much like, again, this is some A5 Guga Foods dry age masterclass Wagyu. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, back to the goat.
Against Whitebeard, and Sengoku is the one who told us about God Valley in the first place, so maybe he knew something here. Was there some reason that what Whitebeard said changed Crocodile's mind? Could it maybe be that Crocodile sympathizes with
I couldn't look at the screen. I was like, if I look at the screen, I'll stare at the goat. But yeah.
Ace, a man who had to hide his true name from the world because of his father. If Croc has been hiding the name Roxy Crocodile or whatever all along, then seeing Whitebeard's display of parenthood in that moment may have shown him that the old man isn't so bad, especially if he's helping somebody like Ace who lived a life so similar to his. Not to mention, Rox and Roger were obviously big-time rivals in the past, so having their children parallel each other by both needing to hide their true names in the future generation just makes so much sense to me. And if you think about it, Ace and Crocodile share a lot of similarities. Both were formerly introduced in Alabasta, both have had Logia powers, both fought Whitebeard when they were rookies, both were offered to become warlords very early in their career, even though Ace turned it down, which in and of itself could parallel Roger and Rock's wills, and you could even say they have somewhat similar aesthetics, with both of them having a kind of cool guy feel with medium-length black hair and even facial markings, with Ace having freckles and Croc having his iconic scar. I mean, look at their pictures as kids. If you slap some freckles onto Crocodile, he would just be one hairstylist away from looking like Ace.
One hairstylist away.
Parallels. But if they are truly the children of Rox and Roger, then there may be some interesting inversions. Ace wanted nothing to do with his biological father, and he just wanted to carve his own path into the world. But Croc may be following in his father's footsteps, creating these big shot organizations with the goal of creating his own utopia. Both of them needed to hide their identity, but for opposite reasons. Ace just didn't want to have the same name of his dad, who he didn't like, and Crocodile may have needed to in order to fulfill his dad's dream. A dream that is somewhat similar of the other Rox pirates that we've met extensively. Kaido and Big Mom. Kaido wanted to make a world of war where the strongest reigned supreme, basically, and Big Mom wanted to create a place where every race could live together. Both of these were their forms of utopias, you could say. And
yes. And you know what makes this great? So obviously I'm a massive fan of this theory, as you guys can assume, since I helped discuss this with Dak a lot. I love this idea so much because now we know that Big Mom and Kaido were subordinates of Rox, right? We know about Rox, but we don't know who they are really or anything like that. That's why we all assume he's going to hit some flashback of some sort, right? But after all of the post-time skip with no crocodile whatsoever. Like none. Literally at all. Right? Then Crocodile shows up again. After this whole buildup of the Yonko and the Emperors and all this stuff about rocks and how there was this sort of coalition of the previous and current emperors. Like, there's something up. There's something up with this. Like, why did he not show Crocodile a single time for, like, literally a decade? Like, that is something. There is something to look into that. There's a reason so many people were speculating, like, what is Crocodile up to? What's he doing? Why is Crocodile just not present in the story, even though characters like Lucci are still present in the story, you know? Or Wapol, like all these pre-time skip villains that are still relevant. And that's why I think Oda's cooking something with Arlong as well. This is something I've been speculating, for a while. Arlong is coming back to the story, because you can't just have characters that have these super resounding connections, not just with the world itself, but our main cast, that are just nullified completely. Like, I mean, you obviously could, but Oda is not the type of writer to do that, in my opinion. So, characters like Enel, I don't think need to come back necessarily, because they aren't connected to the world itself. Because Enel already left this world. If Enel came back to this world, wouldn't it sort of nullify his journey? Not entirely, but there's a possibility of that. But with characters like Arlong and Crocodile, who have clearly had significant changes in their life because of the world around them, and with Crocodile, it's even because of Luffy himself, I think it would be absolutely amazing for them to return. And Crocodile has returned in a really big way, and now become one of the greatest enemy characters in the story. He's clearly being lined up to be someone who's like insanely threatening and imposing. So, clearly, there's something more here. And I think it's very fitting, if this theory is true, and Crocodile does have connections to rocks, how perfect would it be, after building up people who were subordinates to rocks the whole time, even Whitebeard, How perfect would it be for Crocodile to be the sort of inheritor of Rox's will? All I'm going to say.
Recently as chapter 1082, we hear Croc talking about forming his own utopia. Maybe that was what united the Rock's crew in the past. While they were known as a crew back then, there seemed to be constant infighting. And Big Mom said Rox was a good for nothing, and Kaido talked about how pirates always betray each other. It feels like Rox was more of an organization than a typical pirate crew like the Straw Hats have. And that's something Crocodile has kind of specialized in. He never has a prototypical crew, but instead has organizations like Baroque Works or the Cross Guild. Other than maybe the exception of Mr. One, there isn't a true loyalty to Crocodile by any of these members. And similar to God Valley, which was erased, Crocodile even wanted to destroy Alabasta when he finished with his plan. Yet another potential connection between these events. And what would a Crocodile theory be if I didn't at least mention Crocomom, which some of you may be disappointed to hear I don't think is necessarily true, but Crocodile being a female in general does gain some traction here, because as I mentioned, Ivankov knows some secret or weakness of Crocodile's, and if his goal was to hide his true identity from the world so he won't get hunted down because of his father, what better way than to just change your gender? Maybe Croc was originally Rock's daughter and was well known for that, and so was chased around the world after God Valley, and then Ivankov was probably one of the only people in the world who could really save Crocodile from that lifestyle, by turning him into a man and hiding his identity. Croc may have been pursued after God Valley somewhat like Robin was after O'Hara. Robin was 8 years old back then.
Yeah, this is one of the best parts of the theory.
Old after God Valley. Robin was known as the demon child, and maybe Croc was known as the child of a demon. Robin was pursued.
Yeah, when Dak told me that, I was like, this theory is a lock, bro. That is such just immaculate sort of connection right there. It's so good. It's so good. It's not even the fact that it's like, look, it's the Ace parallel, but it's the fact that there's the Robin parallel as well. Like, come on, bro. Come on. It's ridiculous for me. Like, the fact that all these characters are so intrinsically tied to the Alabasta saga, and we still have characters that are incredibly important to that saga, like Vivi, of course, who are still relevant, and are even more relevant now than ever. And Vivi's return perfectly coincides with Crocodile's return, and with the idea that Robin now literally can turn into a demon, you know, thanks to the footage that was shown right there to really push this point. You just see it. You just see the parallels, and I think this theory so far is being very well executed. Like, for me, obviously, like, one thing I would immediately critique is, like, because Dak, you already know I vibe with this. I vibe with this heavily. But the one thing I would say is kind of off is the whole changing gender versus changing sexuality thing, because clearly this is not a gender, like, trans allegory at this point. It's a literally, I am changing my sex because I need to run away from the government because my dad is rocks. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't like a it is an Okama-esque thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, Crocodile is changing his sexuality, but is Crocodile saying, like, oh, I'm having this, like, immense, like, you know, internal struggle or whatever? No, this is clearly as, like, a way to become someone new, you know, which is very in line with Ivankov, and you're probably going to talk about Bon Clay as well, how Bon Clay is super important, which is awesome. But this is clearly different than, like, Kiku, you know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing I would critique, like, right there. But besides that, you're still doing, like, again, masterclass stuff.
After God, and Croc was known as the government had a demon.
Parallels.
Robin
So
was
God tier.
pursued because she could read the poneglyphs, and maybe the government had a hunch that Croc knew a thing or two about them as well from his time with rocks, which might even be evidenced by the fact he knew Pluton was connected to Alabasta. And of course, these two also ended up working together as Mr. Zero and
I like this art a lot. Dak, if you could send me this artist, this is clean. This art is clean, bro.
Miss All Sunday within Baroque Works. Two people who may have had similar pasts in their own right, who are also pursuing similar goals. The first time we saw Crocodile, he was introduced with a white lily, and Oda associated the white lily with Robin during an SBS, furthering the connection between these two.
Cool.
And there's actually a lot of other characters who shared a similar feeling at the age of 8 specifically. Sanji left Germa at the age of 8, Momo was sent to the future at the age of 8, Shirahoshi called for the Sea Kings for the first time when she was 8 years old. Even Doflamingo killed his dad when he was 8 years old.
Doflamingo and Crocodile.
He parallels Crocodile
Clear.
quite a bit, which I'll discuss later. A lot of important characters went through some serious stuff at the age of 8, so the fact that Crocodile was 8 during God Valley should raise some red flags. In tying this all back to Ivankov, if Croc really was a female at some point, then Eva would be the one person who knows the truth of his identity. Nobody would know where this male crocodile guy came from other than Ivankov. And that's what makes the secret matter so much. It's not even that Croc would be embarrassed or anything about the gender swap, it's that it would reveal his true identity as the child of rocks. And this makes sense because Ivankov has been the king of name drops in One Piece. Most recently,
there's another fantastic point. Another fantastic point. This was another one where I was like, okay, this even makes it even more likely. You know, the whole thing makes it even more likely that Crocodile... See, what really hooked me on this idea at the start was that Crocodile's whole organization, Baroque Works, revolves around fake names. You know, Mr. Zero, Miss All Sunday. But behind all of those fake names is a real name, you know? Like Nico Robin and Crocodile. You know what I mean? But what if Crocodile, the one man who could never trust anyone in the whole world, was actually not trusting anyone because Crocodile itself is a fake name? And Crocodile's real name is related to rocks. And that's why he can never trust anyone, you know? And again, Dak already mentioned this. Very similar to Ace, you know? The idea of hiding your true self because the world would hate you, you know? And that obviously could very easily line up with the trans allegory that a lot of people have for Crocodile. So, I could easily see that.
Eva told us about Nerona Emu, which is just massive, but Eva also knew a bunch of level 6 prisoner names who eventually became Blackbeard pirates. Ivankov seems to know all sorts of names from history, so having Eva be aware of crocodiles could be poetry. And the interesting thing to me is that if Croc is really related to Zebek in any way, then Alabasta and God Valley may have some uncanny parallels. Obviously, God Valley got erased, and Croc wanted to eliminate Alabasta with a giant bomb after his plan. Croc's entire goal was to get the ancient weapon Pluton, and I've discussed in probably 3 videos by now that Uranus is very likely tied to God Valley. Check out
Absolutely
this
agree.
Vegapunk Mother Flame video or just this Uranus video for more info there, but the big piece of evidence for all that is Shiki, who was a Rocks pirate, because he said that he knew Roger was aware of the location of an ancient weapon. Roger didn't meet Odin yet at this point in the journey, or gone to Wano, so Uranus is kind of a safe default for this. Perhaps Zebek's plans at God Valley were similar to Crocodile's at Alabasta. Get an ancient weapon, eliminate everyone on the island, and then use that power to form a utopia. I mean, it is kind of uncanny that Crocodile's Denden Mushi has the same markings as the egg on Roger's ship.
Oh, that's kind of
Croc
crazy.
went to
That's
Alabasta-
kind of crazy. That's like a little like, by the way, kind of weird, right, guys? Hold on. Kind of wacky.
has the same.
Like, that is so unnecessary. To me, that's a bit of a reach, but I like it. I like it. You know what I mean? I like the vibes. I like the vibes.
Markings as the egg on Roger's ship.
Because you're saying the egg is Uranus. See, there we go. Now we're getting there. Now I'm getting there. It took me a little bit, but yeah.
Just like how Croc went to Alabasta but only found Pluton's poneglyph, I think the same thing might have happened at God Valley, where Rox found the poneglyph instead of the real weapon.
I do want to say one last thing, right? One last thing. Oh, this is crazy. The shirts? What? Oh, nah, this is crazy. That wasn't what I was going to pause with. But I do think it's interesting that the first ever, like, well, no, that's not really true. I was going to say the first ever, like, heavy in shadow villain, like, we have no idea who they are, is Crocodile. But then you could say the same about Buggy as well. And Buggy could also be, like, the Rock's kid. I was going to say, like, because Rock is, like, the ultimate, like, shadowy figure character in One Piece, I would say. Besides Emu, like a pirate character, right? And I was thinking, Crocodile was also that, like, the we have no idea who they are type character. So, that could be something. You know what I mean?
I do think there's a chance that they found the egg there and someone with Bonnie's powers
This
aged
is
it up so
insane.
Uranus returned temporarily, but that's an idea for another video. Since Shiki said
interesting.
Roger knew the location of the weapon specifically, it makes me think that Roger would have read or heard that poneglyph, similar to how he heard Poseidon's poneglyph talk about a great power. Croc went for the god of the underworld, and maybe his dad inverted that a little bit by going for
God
the
of
god
the
of the
sky.
sky. Maybe God Valley showed Croc that the god of the sky was unattainable right now, so he went for the opposite one instead. He could basically be pursuing some alternative version
The
of
song
his
is
dad's
kinda
dream,
crazy.
pursuing the power of the ancient weapons in order to form his own utopia. Croc wanted Pluton, maybe his dad wanted Uranus. And funnily enough, the banana gators are the only natural predator to this.
This was such a crazy thing. He sent me this screenshot of the banana gators. I was like, what? Like, how all three of them like come together, crazy.
Sea kings. It's like these crocodiles.
Yeah, this was right here. This was insane. I was just like, yo, you're so in right now. Like, with the every little thing is just like, wait, this is kind of wild.
Adjacent beings just can't stop hunting ancient weapons. It's like they're all the ancient weapons kryptonite almost. This could be the reason that Croc is getting so important again in the end game of the story. We still don't know who Caribou is working with for
Please
sure,
be
but I
Crocodile.
love the idea that he's actually
Mr.
Mr.
10.
from Rogue
Yes.
to tie this all back together. Shout out
Yes,
Randy
Randy
Troy for that one, because this would
Troy.
truly
Yeah.
give Croc the ancient
That Mr. 10 is Caribou, one of the best theories in the game right now. One of the best. Shouts to Randy and Tekking. It was Tekking and Randy's stream that brought that idea into the ether or whatever. Amazing theory. Amazing.
ancient weapon that he's been looking for all along. And if you think about everything from Oda's perspective, he thought the series was going to be like 5 years when he started. He didn't know it would go on to be almost 1,100 chapters and counting. But Oda is also an author who knows the ending to his story. So that means that if you want answers to the end game, you
Look at
need
the
to look
beginning.
at the early game. And Alabasta was a massive turning point early in the story because it was where we found our first poneglyph, we heard of our first ancient weapon, and we met the Nefertari Nefertari, who we now know turned down the chance to become celestial dragons, and they have the will of D. And we have to remember that God Valley happened towards the beginning of Roger's journey, someone who we know parallels Luffy, obviously. So there may be a mirror between the events at God Valley and what we saw at Alabasta. Goku did say that.
Oh my god, I didn't even put that together. I mean, of course it was. Of course it was. I know why I'm thinking like it's not, but Luffy obviously is Roger, and if Crocodile's Rocks, and then this makes it more interesting because it's highly assumed that Rocks was killed at God Valley and Roger was able to live on. But Luffy stops Crocodile, and then Crocodile is then changed by Luffy. That's so interesting, right? Like, oh, this is so cool. Because, like, think about it like this. Roger and Rocks, they were bitter rivals to the end, and Rocks was seemingly killed off, and Roger was left to live on and become the Pirate King, right? Now we have Luffy and Crocodile. Crocodile is also jaded. He wanted to be the Pirate King, but wasn't because of the legacy that Roger already had. And also, Crocodile is connected to Rocks. He feels as though he can't live up to those expectations, and then just sort of succumbs to being a king and sort of doing this imitation of what his dad did with Roger. And then what his dad was going to do was stopped by the Roger parallel. How interesting is that? How cool is that? Like, but what makes it even better is like the fact that Crocodile was able to live on and change due to the impact of Luffy. And because of that, he was able to become someone who's more like Roger than he ever realized. So interesting. Really, really interesting here.
That Rocks was both Roger's
his first and greatest foe. And now this could easily align to Buggy being, the Rocks figure, which I still think is possible, especially if Shanks is a celestial dragon. It's more likely than not that Buggy could be, Rocks' kid. But this idea is still incredibly interesting because first foe and perhaps his greatest, that's how a lot of people view Crocodile. People love this dude. So, hey. And same with Buggy, again, to be fair.
Foe and perhaps his greatest. Crocodile may not have been literally Luffy's first foe in the entire story.
He's the first
but he was
big
the
bad
first warlord, and for sure Luffy's first serious challenge in the Grand Line.
Yep.
And while Croc isn't as strong as Kaido or some of the other enemies that we've seen since then, the fact that we are seeing Croc, Pluton, the Nefertari, and all this other stuff from Alabasta coming back into play now in the final saga, I don't think it's that crazy to say that Croc is at least one of the biggest villains Luffy has faced.
Definitely.
I mean, Garp teamed up with Roger at God Valley, and Alabasta is where Smoker first started realizing the Straw Hats may not be the bad guys. Because at least early in the story, it was clear Garp and Smoker were meant to be parallels for chasing Roger and Luffy respectively. Smoker may have fallen off in the post-time skip since we barely see him, but the connection still stands, and might hint that these islands are a little closer than we realize. Oda may have set this up where Luffy, the son of the revolutionary and most dangerous man in the world, Ace, the son of the Pirate King, and Crocodile, the son of Roger's nemesis basically, the children of the three biggest enemies of the world government, you could say, were all together
at the same
at one
place
point
at the
in
same
Alabasta.
time.
There's even a great parallel to Doflamingo here. You've probably heard before about how similar Alabasta and Dressrosa are, with both of their countries being taken over by warlords, the royalty having history from before the Void Century, the countries were ruled by people whose families at least had a chance to become celestial dragons, and even a few other things. But the arcs are kind of inverted as well, because Dressrosa was an example of what happens if the warlord successfully takes over, while we saw that takeover in progress during Alabasta. But the thing with Dofi is that he was the child of a good celestial dragon family, which we don't usually see. Could Oda invert that with Crocodile by making him the child of a bad D-clan member? If people like Sabo and even the Nefertari have...
Ooh, oh my god. Oh man, we're gonna rewind for that. That was crazy. That was crazy.
He was the child of a good celestial dragon family, which we don't usually see. Could Oda invert that with Crocodile by making him the child of a bad D-clan member? If people like Sabo and even the Nefertari have wills similar to D-clan members without actually having the initial D, or at least knowing they have it, then surely there are people on the opposite side of that, right? Who were born with the initial D but don't really carry the will. will. That's why it's called
Okay.
the Will of D. The initial only means so much, really. So maybe Rox and Crocodile, to an extent, are from bad members of the clan who still use that initial for whatever reason. When
Yeah.
Robin and Cobra headed down to the Poneglyph crypt in Alabasta, Cobra mentioned how the Nefertari were meant to protect the Poneglyph, a statement which Robin scoffed at. And knowing what we know now, the Nefertari were one of the original 20, so Robin may have assumed they weren't good people, that protecting the Poneglyph was a charade and they were really keeping that information hidden from the world. But now we know the
Ooh.
Nefertari were true
They were
D-Clan
actually
members.
trying to protect
Maybe
it.
Robin was working with a fake D-Clan member, and Rox D Crocodile or whatever, against the true Ds being the Nefertari. Because the Nefertari having the
my
D
God.
was only mentioned in the letter that Cobra had from Lily. So this will likely be news even to Robin, despite knowing how much of the history she knows already. This could change a lot of context of what she knew. And speaking of good and bad D-Clan members, you might be wondering about Marshall D. Teach, a man who undoubtedly has some type of connection to Rox, illustrated either by him taking over his old home base in Hachinosu, or his main ship being the Saber of Zebek. There are other things you could point to as well, but the point is, if Croc is Rock's child, then what is Blackbeard? Well, the interesting
The
thing
inheritor
here
of
is
his
that
will.
Blackbeard is ironically the warlord who took over for Crocodile. And then after
Very
that
true.
was Law, who was a hit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They all might be Will of D member? Bro. And something else that's really interesting. I didn't bring this up, but Dak did a bit. Luffy, Ace, Vivi, and maybe even Crocodile all being Will of D members at the same time in the same place. Like, what are the odds? What are the odds? And how this could connect to the end game of the story? Man.
Hidden D-Clan member. All three of these people shift their alliances with the wind. Blackbeard used his warlord status as leverage for more power in the world, and now he's using Kobe to make Hachinosu its own country. Law was a warlord, and then worked with Caesar, and then Luffy, and now he's back to himself, so his alliances shift as well. And obviously, Croc led Baroque Works, and now he's part of the Cross Guild. Oda is telling us that there's some connection between these three, I think.
I see it.
When Croc and
I see it.
Blackbeard met in Impel Down, Crocodile mentioned how peculiar it was that a no-name from Whitebeard's crew, who Croc despises, took his position. And then Blackbeard mentioned his Grandmaster plan, which Croc wasn't really interested in for some reason. These are two of the most cunning, forward-thinking characters in the story, and Croc wasn't interested in that plan. Why is Oda keeping them in the dark from one another? While I don't have a solid answer on Blackbeard's true identity yet, that is something I hope will get revealed soon. But as for Crocodile, what is
That is
his
pretty
true
interesting.
or
That is pretty interesting. We're gonna rewind right there. That is pretty interesting. Why? These two, I feel like, would be perfect together. They're both cunning. They're both evil. You know, like, they would be aligned more likely than not. But maybe because their dreams would get in the way of one another. Because they both want a utopia in a way. You know, Blackbeard wants one. So does Crocodile. But differently. Very interesting.
story one another. Well, soon. But as for Crocodile, what is his true or original name? Ace kept his name Ace, but changed the family name, where Crocodile is just one name so far. I mean, yes, he's usually called Sir Crocodile, but Sir isn't his family name. So whatever Crocodile's true
And
name
it's the
is,
fact it's
probably
Sir. The fact it's Sir. That clearly adds to the trans possibility. Like, literally Sir Crocodile. Like, come on.
something different than just Rox D Crocodile, if I'm taking a guess. I mean, the name Crocodile itself is almost loosely Rox D Isle. We all love to pretend people's names have a hidden D, like Con D Oriano the Goat. So I want to see you guys leave some comments.
Wait. So I was telling this to Dak earlier, right? Crocodile, right? That could be like it's Rox D Isle, right? But I said I think the name could be like Allie, because like alligator, because that's a normal girl's name, Allie, right? But if you look at Isle, you know, I-L-E, flip it backwards, it's Ellie, which is another pretty normal girl's name. That's interesting. That's pretty interesting. The name Ellie, it's so normal. It's so normal. Like, Ellie or Allie, whichever one it is, it's still like I feel it, and like it could be that, it could be Ellie. Okay, Dax's play 30 more seconds.
Hidden D, like Con D, Oriano the GOAT. So I want to see you guys leave some comments down below for what you think Crocodile's true name was. I mean, it's going to be Rox D something, I assume, but the true first name is kind of the linchpin, especially if he was a female at some point. My favorite idea so far comes from talking with Kev DOG, who thinks if Croc was actually a girl first, her name could have been Allie.
Exactly. Alligator.
So her full name could have been Rox D Allie, which would just be hilarious. But again, it could also make some sense because this all ties back to
Alligator,
Sebek, the crocodile god of Egypt. So we're still keeping with that theme here. But one thing I've been thinking...
No, but the Ellie thing, though, that's something. E-A-E-L-L-I-E? That's a name. That's a normal name. That's a normal name. Ellie is a popular male Hebrew name. Oh, I see. Okay. But that's interesting still. Oh, well, that's Eli. That's Eli. But I'm thinking like Ellie. Yeah. Eli's, yeah, obviously.
About is what did Croc do between the ages of 8 and whenever he could go and sail out on his own? Who was his parental figure during that time? And my current guess right now is actually Dufeld. Parvision had an awesome theory about
Dufeld Croc
being a clone
connections
or something of Dufeld.
Yeah.
And while I love that idea, I think it may just be more likely that Dufeld cared for Crocodile over the years. Dufeld funded Mads, which is confirmed to have cloned Rox members, so there is already a connection between the groups here. And obviously Crocodile has such a similar mob boss aesthetic, and as I mentioned earlier, he was loaning money out to people, which is similar to Dufeld,
like Dufeld.
Philanthropic
like
endeavors.
Dufeld.
It is kind of funny to think of Dufeld as Croc's dad, or Dufeld being to Croc what Whitebeard was to Ace, but I mean, Mads is proving to be incredibly important, so maybe we really shouldn't sleep on the guy. And all I can ask now is, please hit like and subscribe.
Yeah,
if you
please hit like and
because that's it for
subscribe.
this one, guys. And I
Please
do want to take a
hit
second
like and
to give a
subscribe.
big thank you to a few folks who really helped with this theory. I mean, first off, thanks again to Queen
Bonshan, the
for posting
goat.
this on Reddit, but also Kev DOG, Saran
Yeah.
Wrap from the Discord, 3Day from the Last Arc channel, Hidden Island, 3Vol, Matt Cypher, and really anyone else that I bounced ideas off of for this theory. If any of them have channels, you'll find them down below. But
Yeah, shouts to all these creators and people in the One Piece community. You guys know what's up. And of course, shouts to Dak for making this masterclass theory. You know what I'm saying?
below. But all right, that's really it for this one, guys. Please.
I'm shocked you didn't include anything about Bon Clay being in his group. You really didn't bring that up, and I thought that was so like, that was another like really big, you know, connective linchpin for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I really thought that was gonna be something. You even brought him up at the end. Like I was like, oh, Bon Chan, you know, the GOAT, of course. You guys know what's up. He's like most of the notifications on this channel. But nah, this video is elite, bro. Elite. Now let me, before I, Ellie name meaning Ellie meaning light, noble. What does Ellie mean biblically? That doesn't really relate. But hey. Let's see though. Alright, well, we don't need this open anymore. Now, I really thought you were going to bring up Bon Clay. First off, I'm liking that for sure. You guys, if you're a part of the Sebek squad, you know, I commented this hours ago, but if you're a part of the Sebek squad, you guys know what's up. You know what's up. The Sebek squad is real. We all, if you rock with this theory, you're a member of the Sebek squad. You know what I'm saying? You know what's up. Anyway, I'm still cooking with the alley thing. I've always been like alley because it's like alligator. It's right there. It's right there. Ellie connection with Lucci. Lucci is light in Italian. Yo, that would be crazy. Because Luffy is the sun, and the sun is what causes the light to change. Because like Crocodile's clearly changed, clearly, you know. But Lucci, let's say Lucci is about to get killed by the world government, which is a very likely thing that's going to happen. If Lucci changes to align with Luffy in this If Lucci actually aligns with Luffy right now, like, this is going to be crazy, because then it would be a literal parallel to Crocodile at, you know, Marineford and Impel Down and all that, which is crazy, because that's like the infamous criminal side of the world and the highest up subordinates. Like, that is a really interesting connection right there. Really interesting. Rocksteady Alley is my official guess. It's so close to Lily also. Yeah, that makes it even better. Makes it even better. The fact of the connections, man. But I will do a little be right back segment. So I will be right back. Alright, we're back. Let me switch it back. Boom. And boom. Cool. Yeah, but absolute banger of video from Dak. You guys know what's up. Let's see. Let me read through the chat again. I wanted to talk about Bon Clay. I've mentioned him in a few videos already. My first big video featured Bon Clay. So that's right. You're right. I remember that video. Joy Boy's Wings, bro. Banger. Huge banger video. Sebek Squad. Tufeld is Crocodile's treble. I could see that. I could definitely see that. They both had a like weird sort of big guys who are influencing them to be bad people. Lucci is an opportunist more than anything. He just wants someone who enables him to be a bad guy. I mean, you're right. You literally are right. Lucci is quite a bad person, you know? And if Luffy is like, hey, look, kill those guys, you know, that would be interesting. See if anything happens. Roxy Galley, or Roxy Panisi, would be my guess, since his name is Zebek, which is a type of ship. That's interesting, because that gives me two things. Galley is sort of like alley, you know, alligator, but you know what I'm saying? That's interesting, because alligator, G from gator, boom, to the front, galley, and at the beginning of the prototype of One Piece, there was like a galley villain who was like a crescent moon. I remember that. I remember that guy. Panisi though, that sounds interesting. And I kind of like Panisi though because it's like a pinstripe, which is like a mafia guy. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting. Crocodile stole something from Dufeld when he was young. He was inspired by his style and adopted it, like Indiana Jones' Last Crusade. That's interesting. Oh, Galley's canon. Okay. That is interesting, though. My theory, although not a feminine name, is that Crocodile was named C-Rox Dizebek too. Oh, C is a hidden name like Law. Law's hidden name. C-Rox Crocs Dizebek. Oh, that's cool. I messed with that. I really wonder if we're going to get... We probably will get the water hidden name thing. Because if they don't bring it up, I'd just be confused. I'd just be very confused, you know. Very confused. But no, that was an absolute banger video. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the vibe. And we're definitely playing the Buggy Revelation. That is next. That is next. We've already been going for 2 hours. And an hour was food takes and Dr. Pepper. Oh my god. Alright. So we're going to get into the Buggy Revelation. Pause on that. The Buggy Revelation. I am beyond hyped for this video. Because Buggy, you guys know Buggy's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Video contains spoilers up to chapter 1082. One of the best chapters of the whole series. One of the best ever. You know.
Why do I like One Piece? Well, if you haven't watched
Why do you?
all of these videos, there's multiple reasons. There's the themes of found family, the greater plot of lost history, the single character development that comes with a lot of good angst. There's also the hot girls, the hot guys, the hot fish, the furries, the tits, cool pirates, bad pirates, ugly pirates, big fists that go punch, and so on and so forth. Every single thing about this series is basically monkey neuron activation. Giving me One Piece is the equivalent of giving an ape a banana. Ook ook and all that. I can't help but get excited as I peel back the layers to see what's underneath. One Piece banana's so delicious. To put it simply, there are so many aspects of One Piece that can suck a person in. You can be in it for the fights, or you can be in it for the world, or in it for the characters, Straw Hats or not. This whole series is a collective clump of different story and worldly ideas that are wonderfully contained in a single series that viewers can pick and choose what they want to focus on. So, what do I like?
This is crazy because this is like exactly what we were saying at the Reverie. One Piece is so good because you could just hyperfixate on like anything, like, and this is a Buggy video, and this is like going to be about the ultimate hyperfixation because Buggy, you know, he's the GOAT, you know. I like that, Dak. I see you're popping off in the chat real quick. I could see C-Rox D being a true name in general, but Croc might still have a different name than Zebek 2. I just love that connection. C-Rox is a C-Stone connection. C-Rox equals C-Stone. And Blackbeard cancels Devil Fruits. Because it's like sort of further duality between the two. I've messed with that.
Why do I care? Multiple reasons. For character is
Rubber
probably the
boy
main
funny.
one. But I love One Piece for the fact it gives you all these characters, all these relationships and dynamics, and in doing so, it gives you a puzzle. From time to time,
Yeah.
from the beginning, you can easily put all these pieces together. Or sometimes, and this is my favorite of times, you only get a few bits and pieces. There'll be a point where One Piece will give you a character, and they'll act in a certain way, speak in a certain way, or see someone or something in a certain way, and we don't know why. They're a mystery, and this can be on the nose or more subtle in nature. An on the nose example of this is Robin. She was interesting from the beginning, and her actions always lent themselves to bigger questions. Of course, we we didn't get all her pieces until Water 7, where we discover the story of her tragic past. A subtle one, in my opinion, would be Sanji. He always had this sacrificial nature that was a bit more intense than the average person, something that stemmed to even before Zeph. And the biggest question came from why he valued the lives of others above his own. But then, once we get to Whole Cake Island, we get that final piece. And the whole puzzle is completed in how we see Sanji and why he functions the way he does. I thought Sanji and Robin's stories were pretty magnificent in revealing their natures and their characters. I honestly didn't think it could be beat. However, if we
Buggy. And then we get the bug in the final piece. The final piece of what makes Buggy the best character. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm already gonna love this video. I can just tell. Because it's all gonna be about Buggy's dream. It's all gonna be leading up to that. Because God, I already like the video.
In relationship and dynamic of characters, not just one, we get more puzzles to solve. And this is where the legend himself, Buggy D Clown,
of course,
comes into play.
The Buggy goat himself.
But before I honk that big red nose, I'm hitting you with a
sponsor time, aka it's skipping time.
Down. Alright, it's clown time. Let me start by saying
clown time.
One Piece currently has the advantage of still being ongoing. Because of this, things currently being revealed tend to be more shocking the longer you've stuck with the story. A lot of angles factor into this, such as being spoiled for future plot points, reading faster to get to a certain arc more than an older viewer ever could, resulting in a lack of anticipation, the hype that surrounds the current chapters or episodes fading the further the story progresses, and anything else that can just disconnect a viewer from the media, really. For example, a major reveal recently has been Dr. Vegapunk himself. I'm sure those who were around during the Kumabot times were desperate to know of Vegapunk's location and character. The very recent reveal has been built up for 17 years in the making.
That's
Vegapunk's name was officially revealed in chapter 433 all the way back in
17 years.
However, as we further progress from the current Egghead arc, One Piece will get more readers, and this build-up will become less significant to them. Now, that's not to say there is no significance in the showing of Vegapunk, because you still have to read over 600 chapters from the original Vegapunk mention to get to him. But what I'm saying is, the impact of the timing works to One Piece's advantage of being a still ongoing series. So, why am I saying all of this? Why does the puzzle of character and relationship, impact of plot reveal, and the build-up of this legendary series matter? Because I believe One Piece's biggest build-up, and one of the biggest puzzle pieces ever, has been given to us just recently, with the puzzle piece in question handed to us in the form of Buggy. Not just Buggy, but Buggy and Shanks specifically. Buggy has always been an interesting character and has always been a major anomaly in my opinion. When we meet Buggy, the chapters are still in the single digits, and he's just this weird looking clown who seems to enjoy terrorizing this little East Blue town. People were injured, but maybe no one died. I choose to believe Buggy believes in my well-being. He's the people's pirate to me. Not even Luffy takes Buggy seriously, because why would you? This guy is a literal clown. He's a pretty good breakout pirate for how damn crazy this One Piece world is. Or at least, Luffy didn't take him seriously until he mentioned Shanks.
I'm not liking this. I'm not liking the copyright.
Someone we certainly do not have all the pieces for, but it's this passing comment a lot of people focused in on, and for good reason. Buggy not only knew of Shanks, seemingly personally, but he was on the same boat as Shanks. At the current time, this looked to be nothing special. It's just a random boat, so who cares? But there's obviously more here we are meant to focus on. And not only is Buggy's affiliation with Shanks something that connects him to Luffy, but the permanent stitches now forever on Luffy's hat are a constant reminder, a constant one, that Buggy exists in this world. And
Yup.
admittedly, I was not someone who focused on Buggy at first, but a lot of people had him always in the backs of their minds, because what part does Buggy possibly have to play in all of this? Is his connection with Shanks really that they were just on the same boat years ago? Does Buggy's hate only stem from the fact Shanks accidentally made Buggy
Yeah, I'll
eat
put a
devil
filter, good
fruit?
idea.
And so, we have been given a piece of Buggy's puzzle. And this is where the questions come pouring in as the Shanks and Buggy relationship has been established. I think a key
Yo,
thing
Ryo,
to take
have a
from
good one,
Buggy's
bro?
introduction is, not only was he unnerved by Luffy having Shanks' hat, but he was extremely pissed off at Luffy announcing he'll be the next Pirate King. The only thing
'Cause
is,
Buggy
doesn't say he'll be the next Pirate King instead. Not in the way Kaido's crew does for Kaido, but just says the treasure will be his instead. After Luffy declares this, Buggy then says Luffy reminds him of a young Shanks. It's not until hundreds of chapters later, chapter 434 to be exact, that we find out the ship Shanks and Buggy were on wasn't just any ship, but was Roger's ship itself. This is information Buggy and Shanks both conveniently left out when talking to Luffy. But what I always found interesting
What?
was the tiny flashback we receive when Shanks is talking about and thinking of Buggy. Shanks tells us they parted on the day of Roger's execution, and the flashback we get is Shanks asking Buggy to be on his crew, while Buggy tells him he'll never work under him.
船長処刑の日ローグタウンで別れてそれを聞いた俺と一緒に来いよバギーおめえの部下なんざ真っ平でバカ
It's so
風の噂で
it's so nothing.
海賊をやってる時
It's so nothing, which is the craziest
According
part.
to Shanks, they've never seen each other since Roger's
Like-
execution. But this never really added up to me. In fact, I feel a few ways about Shanks, but it was at this point Buggy and his relationship with Shanks really began to interest me. Because from the story Buggy had given us, it just didn't make sense. Buggy told us that, while on the same ship, Shanks made him eat a devil fruit. Due to eating the devil fruit, Buggy couldn't swim, and therefore couldn't find this great treasure. So he and Shanks became mortal enemies. From Shanks' demeanor upon talking about Buggy, they don't really feel like enemies. And once they see each other again, for the first time in years, there is absolutely nothing malicious going on here. In fact, they bicker like normal, an incredibly normal Buggy reaction if I've ever seen one. Buggy has never really been evil per se, just a little bit off. But for someone who claimed Shanks as his mortal enemy, this is still a weird reaction to have when seeing each other again. Anyways, the reaction upon meeting aside, what did I find so weird about this? It's the fact the timeline didn't make sense. Apparently, Buggy hated Shanks once eating the devil fruit, but apparently, they parted permanently at Roger's execution. This leaves a few days to a few weeks to a few years between the devil fruit
Of nothing.
scenario and their eventual parting. So my loud little brain began racing at this, because if this is the case, and they actually split up at Roger's execution, that means Shanks and Buggy shared many more days together being partners in crime way after the devil fruit. To begin with, I consider this as something Oda may have forgotten about, but rule 1 of being into One Piece is Oda never forgets, and he is a fantastic writer in that regard. This is a huge piece of Buggy that we have been given, because this means Buggy lied about why he hates Shanks, or at least partially lied. I have no doubt he's angry at eating the devil fruit, but obviously he wasn't angry enough to up and leave Shanks. But at this point, we were just being teased. There still wasn't really enough here, and Buggy was still a bit of a mysterious character at this point in terms of his ambitions and his dreams. It's very easy to believe Shanks actually did nothing and Buggy is just being Buggy, but it comes back into question again as we get to Wano, because in Wano, we get a very large, very generous flashback regarding the Roger Pirates, all through Odin's eyes. We discover Buggy and Shanks weren't just on on Roger's crew, but they'd been there since birth. These two were essentially raised by Roger and Rayleigh, and it makes more sense as to why Buggy was so happy to hear Rayleigh was still alive in Sabodi. This guy may as well be his dad, and after Roger's execution, the relief at hearing that Rayleigh is still around is no doubt comforting for Buggy. But this whole flashback adds a whole new layer to Shanks and Buggy. They were far more than just crewmates on Roger's
They're
ship.
brothers.
Their relationship had honestly been downplayed from the beginning, and I have no doubt Buggy and Shanks know each other better than anyone else does. In fact, it seems Shanks would have done anything for Buggy, and Buggy would have done anything back. Even though they were so close to finding the One Piece with Roger, Buggy fell sick only a few islands beforehand. Their closeness and relationship is cemented as Shanks tells the crew he'll leave with Buggy, and the Roger pirates drop them off to continue the One Piece search without them. Now, just think about that. Really think about that. When they were younger, Shanks and Buggy were both a hair away from discovering the One Piece as Roger's crew, but they gave it up. More importantly, Shanks gave up the One Piece for Buggy because he wanted to make sure Buggy was okay. Shanks put the glory of this discovery and the Pirate King crew after Buggy, and no doubt Buggy felt he owed Shanks a great debt after that, because these two continued to stick together. We are seeing just how strong of a relationship these two had, as friends or brothers or partners or anything else you want to call it. Buggy was an important part of Shanks's life, as Shanks was in Buggy's. And once again, we see the execution scene. Once again, we see Buggy suddenly changing his mind about Shanks. We see Shanks begging Buggy to stay as Buggy absolutely refuses to stick with him. We now have more context on their relationship, of their eventual parting and why this meant so much. But once more, it doesn't make sense. This is no longer a passing scene. This is a big, obvious question Oda has presented us in terms of Shanks and Buggy's characters. What the hell happened on this day, at this time, that Buggy abandoned Shanks, refusing to see him again? Oda has given us a huge hole in this puzzle that he wants us to look at, something he wants us to examine, and examine I did. To this day, I still have no idea how I feel about Shanks, but the feeling from this wasn't good. Buggy clearly cared very heavily for Shanks, and in my opinion, Shanks must have done something insane for Buggy to just leave him. But I think the most interesting part is Shanks still wanted Buggy with him. He didn't want to leave Buggy in any sense. So it was obviously something Shanks had done specifically. I cannot tell you how much this genuinely plagued me, because in all honesty, I am not a theory person. I don't think I have the head for that. Instead, I was trying to understand what could make Buggy so angry. But for the life of me, I couldn't find anything in the story that would put this all together. Until, after years and years of building up this dynamic between Shanks and Buggy, Oda releases chapter 1082.
One
and
of
we
the
finally
best
get the missing
chapters
puzzle piece.
of One
We
Piece.
get the One Piece, if you will. Sorry. In all seriousness, the answer we got was so much more
This is the
emotional
Moda
than I thought
chapter,
it was
by the way,
going to
guys.
be.
It's
And
the
this
Moda
single
chapter.
is such a prime example of why I love this series so much. This chapter opens with the Marines talking about whatever Marine stuff they're doing, but they don't matter for the context of this video, so whatever. What matters is the Cross Guild. But specifically, what matters is Buggy's stupid little head hanging on that hook. As Crocodile and Mihawk discuss their plans regarding the Marines, Buggy begins to think, this is wrong. This isn't how I wanted my life to go. At first, it feels like a throwaway haha line, but then it keeps going. Now, Buggy is a cowardly character. He's a pirate who always manages to fail upwards, and everything he says is akin to that of a lie or a trick. Overall, Buggy doesn't tend to say anything with his whole chest or heart. From the time we've known him, he never has. Hell, even his time skip design is a brilliant play on how his bark is bigger than his bite. His huge, ridiculous outfit shows him to be a huge man on stage, when
But in
he's
reality,
really just this
he's
tiny,
not.
scared clown behind the curtain. And that's why, as Buggy begins to think of what he wants, begins to talk back to Mihawk and Crocodile, It's shocking. He yells at them, "How can you call yourselves pirates with schemes like that? Way back when, what did you guys want to be?" It feels like in these lines, Buggy is regretting his life choices. He's regretting the schemes he played out to be where he is. And then we finally get to the part that actually makes me tear up. Buggy talks about Shanks. And he says, "When I sailed with Shanks, he shone so brightly with potential. I knew I couldn't measure up, so I let go of my real dream." And as we get to the day of Roger's execution, we finally get the whole conversation between Shanks and Buggy. And in a shocking turn of events, Buggy was actually the one supporting Shanks in reaching Larktail. He was the one wanting Shanks to be the next king of the pirates, until Shanks backs down on it and says he's changed his mind on going for the One Piece. And Buggy calls him a coward. Buggy, the coward, calls Shanks a coward. But it's not out of any real anger, or at least not from the way I read it. From here, we go back to present day Buggy making a speech about the dreams.
Before we get to this, so far this video is amazing, but what I love about this is the fact that it's not because Buggy is angry at Shanks at all. He's just so utterly disappointed. Everything that Buggy has sort of expected in his life, he was going to be with Shanks. He was going to find the One Piece with Shanks, you know? They were brothers, you know? But having that just completely just be like thrown away like it was nothing. Buggy might not have been someone who believed in himself, which clearly is true because he always saw that Shanks was the guy. Meanwhile, he's just, you know, the black sheep of the crew. So many characters have said this in the story, that Buggy's like a joke, you know? But Buggy has motivation, he has drive, and he has wants in this world. He's not just some comedic joke character, which makes him, being Buggy the Clown, feel a lot more depressing in a way. It's like his whole life he's been depicted as the joke, when he has something that he wants to do in this world, but he's constantly being downplayed, whether it's because of the insane people around him or it's because of who he is internally. And I think the only reason he's a coward is because he was constantly downplayed and he sort of allowed it to become a part of his character, which is just sad, you know? But I love that scene so much because it shows that he had that hope, that optimism. He truly believed in Shanks. But instead of just letting it happen and letting Shanks just be, you know, Shanks basically defied everything Buggy expected of him. Because Buggy looked up to Shanks. They were brothers, like I said. But because Shanks essentially betrayed Buggy's trust and betrayed what he thought of Roger, it's disgusting to him. He finds Shanks utterly disgusting and a failure in that moment. And this is what makes this chapter a masterpiece, because it brings all of that stuff together. It's so great.
That led everyone to the sea. This man crying as he says to reject the daunting reality so everyone can reach out for what they desire most. All in all, he's telling everyone to push down that cowardly urge and chase the dreams that lit the pirate age to life in the first place. And it's on par with something Roger would say. And
yes. And this is what makes it infinitely more powerful, because Buggy is like Usopp tier level of being a joke and a coward and someone who doesn't believe in themselves because of all the crazy people around them. And this is what makes Buggy one of the most truly human feeling characters in this whole story, because he is in this league of complete insane people who are truly like god tier strength and god tier in their terms of just believing in themselves, you know? Like seeing Buggy be able to not just throw away that, you know, I guess like thing that's been holding him back, his sort of insecurities, but be able to talk to people like Mihawk, who has been regarded as one of the strongest people and one of the most threatening people in the whole world, and belittle him to the point of saying he's a joke because he's not doing it the right way. He's not doing it Roger's way. And Roger is the man he respects the most in the whole world. And that's what leads him to saying that he wants to be the Pirate King. That's what makes it, like, genuinely, like, I've said this when I react to the chapter, like, this chapter is one of the best in the whole series, because this brings so many things together. And I already loved Buggy, obviously. You guys know this. But this truly just took him to the next level.
I have no doubt Roger would be proud of him for this, which especially brings a tear to my eye. From everything this chapter showed us, it broke
I
my
misjudged
heart,
you, Shanks.
because Shanks honestly broke Buggy's heart. It
Yes.
now makes sense that from the beginning, Buggy didn't say he'd be the next king of the pirates for a reason. It makes sense why Luffy's declaration of becoming the next king pissed him off so much.
Because you reminded
And
me
it
of
makes
Shanks, and he
sense
had
why
Shanks'
Buggy
hat.
said Luffy reminds him of Shanks. Because when they were young, Shanks shined so brightly, Buggy abandoned his dream. But this is just not abandoning dreams. This is Buggy looking up to and believing in Shanks with all his heart. Since they were kids,
And that's-
Buggy wanted...
And this is what something, this is like going to be a bit of a tangent, but this kind of pisses me off when people say, like, oh, Usopp, like, when I was at the Reverie, a lot of people were slandering Usopp, obviously, because, you know, people don't like Usopp. But when people say, like, Usopp doesn't believe in Luffy, that's ridiculous, because Usopp absolutely believes in Luffy. Usopp was the first person, besides Zoro, to call Luffy the Pirate King. He was the first one. And I think that is truly, you know, it's telling. It's telling of, like, Usopp is ride or die. Sure, he might be super negative and scared and cowardly all the time, but he will never abandon Luffy if it's for some cowardly reason. The only reason Usopp was willing to abandon Luffy was because Luffy was seemingly willing to throw away another one of their friends, and Usopp felt insecure. But Buggy has that insecurity as well. It just shows that these characters are very similar, and that's why I can't wait for the day they interact. I think that's going to be an amazing, not just funny moment, but I'm very curious to see what happens.
to follow Shanks. Would have worked under him to make Shanks the next king of pirates.
Exactly.
But on the day of Roger's execution, Shanks froze, and everything Buggy sacrificed for Shanks meant nothing.
Exactly.
The way I'm seeing this is, imagine if Luffy were in this situation. Imagine if, one day, something shook Luffy up so bad, he said he no longer wanted to aim for the One Piece. Or, he just wanted to put it on hold. Imagine if Luffy lost that sheer force of will that makes him so intoxicating, and makes the Straw Hats believe in him with their lives and their dreams. Buggy put his dream on Shanks. He believed in his future Pirate King with all he had. And suddenly, for a while,
Just gave
Shanks
up.
abandoned it. So,
Yeah.
of course, Buggy would call him a coward. Of course, Buggy wouldn't want to join him. Of course, he would never want to see Shanks again. Buggy witnessed Shanks's will shake. For
Don't
a
you-
moment, he saw the bright light that he followed.
Yes. Don't you care about following in Captain Rogers' footsteps? Like, Shanks views this as a... Buggy views this as a complete betrayal from Shanks. And I think that's what makes the scene just so great. You see his entire worldview gets destroyed with Shanks just saying, I'm not going to do that. You know? Because he believed in Shanks with all of his being. Everything he had, he was like, Shanks is going to be the guy. Shanks and me, we're going to do this together. Maybe not even that. Maybe just Shanks is going to do it. Maybe he didn't even view himself as a possibility in this list. He just viewed Shanks as going to be the guy. I'm going to make sure Shanks will be the guy. Like, there's something to that, man. There really is. And I think what makes it so great is that now that Buggy is one of those guys, he's not going to just let it, go to waste. He wants to be the guy who inherits Roger's legacy. He's not going to let Shanks do it, because Shanks is just some bum who just let it go and slip past him. He would rather wait for what? Who knows? He's just waiting. And Buggy, he's not going to take that. But Buggy, he didn't take that. He would rather sit around like Crocodile or Arlong characters who are just waiting for that chance instead of going about it themselves. And it's very fitting because like it seems like a lot of the East Blue villains are like that now. I'm thinking about it, like Kuro, like Arlong. It's very interesting. But Buggy is infinitely better than those guys because he has that motivation inside of him, but didn't let it do anything.
Buggy's relationship was torn in two, and it was tragic. It took years later for Buggy to realize what he really wanted, and through snot and tears, he yells, "I want to be king of the pirates." Because now that he's seen Shanks on the move, it sparked a new light in him. And I am so desperate to see these two meet again, because I can't imagine what it'll be like. The question is if Buggy is really aiming to be the king, or if he still has this desire to see Shanks sitting on the throne, like he was so sure Shanks would all those years ago. And this is why I love One Piece so damn much. I love the fact a single chapter, a single piece, can change the way I see an entire character. I was never sure how I felt about Buggy. I liked him, yet I always saw him as a joke. But now, with this information we've been given, with seeing how Buggy was hurt at Shanks giving up on his dream, even if just for a time, my whole perspective has changed. I love Buggy now, but not only do I love him,
I respect
feel
him.
Bad for him.
Oh, you feel bad
I
for
now
him.
want
All
to
right.
see Buggy succeed, and not as a joke, but genuinely from my heart, I am rooting for Buggy. One Piece is so masterful at only ever giving us just enough to really tease us, just to flip us on our heads and crush us from the inside with any new revelations presented to us. Suffice to say, it fucked me up, and I don't think I will ever be normal again after this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Odin.
Real.
Now, with
Real.
the mystery of Buggy solved, we have two more questions left regarding Shanks.
Why did
Those
Shanks...
questions being,
Why... Okay, I'll just say the questions before. Why did Shanks not want to be the Pirate King? What would the other one be? That's definitely one of them. And what does he want with the One Piece? It's probably going to be what does he want? Because if he wanted to follow in Roger's footsteps, he could have easily gotten it then. But why did he wait so long? Why did he wait so long, and why did he stop? That's going to be the two for me.
why he gave up when he did, and why he's decided to move.
Oh, why
when he
move
has.
now?
I'm
Makes
sure
sense.
Buggy wants to know this as well, and I personally cannot wait until we're given these two final pieces to put Shanks together. So until then, my ass will be reading. And with that, thanks for watching. I hope the Buggy
Phenomenal
fans like this
video.
one. If you're watching this as a Buggy fan, please tell me what the new chapters did to you and if it damaged you critically as much as it did me. Also, if there's any new character that just flipped completely for you due to new plot points, let me know that as well. I always love reading the comments you guys leave. Just a quick reminder that I do have a Patreon.
Big shouts to Melty. Big shout outs. But I kind of want to read some of these comments. Buggy is such a well-written character. Also, Buggy is such a goat for his willingness to support Shanks. You gotta have someone like Buggy in your life. Facts. Buggy is the only pirate from Shanks' generation to never give up on his dream. Buggy D goat. Facts. Yeah, I'm gonna be reading these comments forever. There's no doubt in my mind that Buggy is gonna be on Laugh Tale. Taking his whole journey as context, the man will for sure Looney Tune his way into being front of the One Piece. Oda is gonna mock us, and I'm here for it. Buggy was already a character I loved, but the chapter where the entire perception of his backstory flipped and we saw his true resolve, this put him on track to unironically become my favorite character, period. I love this silly little guy. This is masterclass. For me, it's what causes this sudden change in Buggy. For the longest time, it's felt like Buggy has always settled for any position he was in. He was happy playing pirate, just like Crocodile. Not going after his dream, but just enjoying a practical position of power. That is until he becomes recognized as a warlord. He doesn't know how, but he is quite literally side by side with Shanks after years, and it sets a fire under him like nothing else. Great. While I absolutely adore Shanks for his connections to Luffy, and love Buggy for the humor he brings to the series, I am very glad that Oda is now defining Shanks and Buggy outside of Luffy and in regards to each other. It's a delight to be reading this final saga. Yeah, I literally could keep going. On and on and on. I could keep going. Which is the craziest part. I could keep going. Because Buggy is literally... He's that good. Buggy is that good. But we're already 2.5 hours in. And I think with that absolute banger out of the way, that's going to be it for me. Now, I do have some more streams lined up. It seems like the chapter will more likely than not be on Wednesday, so expect to stream there. Because you know we're going to be there. We'll be there no matter what. So, that's going to be it for me. I just want to say, for people who have somehow seen the whole video, I just want to say much love to all you guys for supporting me. We hit 3,000 subs, and it feels like the journey is going to keep rolling more and more, especially with the connections I've been making through the Reverie, which is just crazy. You know, it not like in retrospect, because it is crazy that, like, I feel like I've been more welcomed into the community, which is just awesome, you know. I feel like I already have been welcomed, to be fair, but being able to conversate and talk with people who, you know, I was watching for like such a long time, it feels like crazy, genuinely. And seeing people like you guys in the chat who are genuinely like, I've seen so many of these names so many times, and knowing that you guys are real ones. You guys are real ones. And Brandon King says, don't forget to peep my Discord ping later. I'll definitely peep it, the theory you were talking about. Definitely going to check that out. But I just want to say thanks to you guys for showing love to the channel as you always do. And hopefully the content gets better and better with the more effort I could put in. Because of... thanks to viewers like you, you know. But genuinely, I have some One Piece bangers in the lineup, and I know some of them have been super delayed. One of them was about, like, stocks, and Buggy obviously was a huge thing in that. Definitely going to try and do that. But with what's coming in the new chapter, who knows what's going to happen. So, that's going to be it for me. Like I said, thank you once again for all the support. You guys know what's up. You're the real ones for always coming to streams, whether it's literally as big as the Reverie or as normal and low-key as this. So, thank you guys. If you guys aren't in the Discord, which I assume most of you are, I mean, I've seen your names in there quite a bit, feel free to check it out on the channel page or whatever. And yeah, that'll be it from me. Take care. Have a good night or morning, depending on where